flat? No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat. Is the Earth flat? No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat. the Earth flat? No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat. Is the Earth flat? No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat.
Or not. The reality of it is there are no flat earthers. There are only globe deniers. Every flat earth evidence really is just a globe phenomenon, explained by the globe. Don't you see that? See, I'm still here for truth. Now there are certain people in my way.
It's not flat. Okay, it's not flat.
What is up, party people? All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the upload. It was I thoroughly enjoyed the fuck out of that debate. If you guys want to know where it was at, it's over at Eyes to See channel. Go check her out. Make your own opinion on whether or not you want to stay or not. But yeah, it was fun. Travis is now a Glober, so I'm going to need everyone to be respectful to him. I'm going to need everyone to understand that he's going through a very, very rough time right now. I went through it. It's a huge change when you've argued for flat for so long, and suddenly you realize, holy crap, I'm a Glober. So let's all just be remembrance of that and help him through this trial, this rough time he's going to be having. But yeah, welcome back to the Globe, Travis. Everyone say welcome back to the Globe. I put the link out there so you guys can go ahead and join. I have effed up because I got to put the other one back on. Yep, see, I thought so. What's up, Farmer's Boy? How you doing, sir? Wait, can you hear me? Nope. What's up, Farmers? Now I know you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I forgot to have the two different meets up, and I'm looking at the one that everyone sees, but I forgot that no one's looking. I couldn't see who was coming in. All in the purpose of showing you guys the whole new sharing option you can do on this. I figured out how to share audio without having to do all the weird speaker stuff, so it's pretty cool.
I have an admission to make. I did, in all honesty, I wanted to watch your debate last night, right up until the point where Travis said, "What is the shape?"
Yeah, well,
and I thought, it's getting late. Do I want to stay up and listen to this tripe? No, I'll bail out and go to bed.
Yeah, well, for those of you who felt the same way, I can give you two things right now. One, I just put up an upload. It's about what, 16
I've
minutes long.
I've watched it. I've watched it. I dropped out of Jem's thingamajig because I'd seen a lot of that before, and I went over and watched it. Did he carry on being racist to you?
Oh, 3 different times.
Because obviously I heard the first one, and I thought,
Yep.
now come on, because nothing
Yes.
was said, and I thought, now come on, you know.
Okay, so in this debate, I want everyone. So Travis he made racial comments at least 3 different times, and all the times me and ISC were like, Travis, are you fucking kidding me? And then what happened next was this: he kept alluding to sexual content. A couple times, I'm pretty sure you heard it. He said something like, I'm pretty sure everyone's touching themselves while you talk.
Yes, I heard that one. Yeah.
He had alluded to a threesome with Danielle, himself, and I. Yeah, I mean, Travis got issues, Joe. But all in all, he's a Glober now.
Are you serious?
You're saying he's a Glober.
Yes.
Does he know that?
He knows it's not a flat Earth.
Oh, well, he's a Glober then. Yeah.
Well, see, he stated, and I'm pretty sure you guys all heard it kind of in and out during my intro or during the songs. And if you didn't, let me know. Travis saying it's not flat. It's not a flat Earth. It's not flat. He said it. And if he's not a flat earther, okay, cool. Then what I went on is his explanations of everything. Just so everyone knows, I didn't edit that to make him sound anyway. I just took clips of things he was claiming and saying and explaining and showed you that now Travis is a Glober.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it's not flat in his own words. And then he explained everything that you would see on a globe. I'm sorry, that sounds like a Glober to me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I mean, yeah, I've seen the little clip thing you did today. I've watched that, and yeah, he does seem to be in agreement with you about the shape of the Earth, gravity.
Yep.
Yeah. What else were there? Star trails.
And my favorite part was, and the other thing I could guarantee everyone, if you listen to the whole thing, there's no ether band. We didn't talk about that. Travis was prepared for it and everything, and I told him, nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
And he went for it. It was great. The very first part, you know that part where it says times 300?
Yes.
Okay, so he started monologuing, and like he wouldn't answer what the question. That was like his opening statement. Man, he just drew it on. What's up, ISC? I see you in the chat. I'm sorry. Travis is a Glober now. He described it exactly like we see it. I don't know any other way of saying it. I don't know.
What was that? Was that an actual rage quit at the end, or did you just speak up for a piece?
No. Okay. No. Okay. So he was like in the middle of rage quitting, but instead of rage quitting, he went to the bathroom. Right. So I thought it was like a new thing, like instead of rage quit, you rage bathroom or rage pee. It was entertaining.
What did you call it? A rage tiddle?
A tinkle. I think he had a tinkle.
Tinkle. A rage tinkle.
But it was fun. I enjoyed myself. It was fun. It was definitely a different discussion, not talking about the same things we always talk about with each other. So that was a definite relief. So thanks to Travis for doing that. But it really opened my eyes up to realizing that, yeah, Travis's observations of everything else on this earth is globe.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way of describing it.
Well, I can't wait to hear his response to that, because I just got this sneaking suspicion he's not going to be in full agreement with you.
Okay, how about I read you?
Call me a cynic.
I can read you his response to this. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, after the little discussion we had, I messaged him, "Great talk. Welcome back to the Globe." Then this morning, I messaged him, "Having a welcome back to the Globe party. You're invited." This is the response I got to it. "You're a dope. If you honestly think You made me semblance of a point last night. Next time you use the word phenomena, only mean one occurrence. Use phenomena. It's singular. NK.
Okay.
Yeah. NK.
Oh, okay.
NK.
Okay.
Not even like K. It was NK. So
I must
yeah.
admit, my eldest stepson always used to put KK, but that's because he was texting on his mobile and it's quicker.
I do that too, but that's only
Okay.
because I got a twitchy finger and it's like, bam, it's easier.
Yeah, but to begin with, I said, is that supposed to mean okay? He says, yeah, but it's quicker, and you'll get used to it. You knew it was him because you'd sort of say, look, are you going to be home for dinner? Yeah, dinner's it, whatever, and you just go KK. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But NK?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
So all he could pull you up on was your spelling.
Yes. And it was, I don't know, it was a weird debate. Weird discussion.
Yeah.
Travis definitely is not, I was like, okay, this is honestly why Travis is a Glober. Because Travis knows nothing about flat Earth. Nothing at all. Not even what the arguments are. He literally just knows his observations he makes don't show curvature. That's it. That is it. And that's what I learned last night.
I must admit, he's always not. Well, I don't know whether he's in his defence of the right words, but he's always stuck to his story. And he will not argue anything else, but he probably won't argue anything else because of his ignorance about it.
True. ISC asked me, Sean, are you calling victory on this? Absolutely. 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 He made explanations for things he couldn't explain why they didn't work on a globe. He just explained that's what he observes. The problem is what everything he explained was literally a globe. Everything from gravity to the spinning of the Earth to it being a globe. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry. It's what happened. Oh my God. Hello, Militant Manny. How you been, my friend? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
I already know what you sound like.
My hands are about to, kind of delay.
Hey, Manny.
What's so funny?
We know your voice.
We know what you sound like, and that ain't it.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
I thought Travis's voices were silly.
So how you been, Manny?
Been good, man. Just, same old things.
You a little sick?
No, actually, no. This is my Richie from Boston impersonation, boys. But I digress.
Oh, I see that social distancing has made you funnier.
Yeah, I guess so. What is going on with this COVID-19 virus? Can I get your opinion, or am I digressing? I mean, you brought it up.
Oh, an open topic. Anybody can talk about anything.
Oh, okay. All right,
my opinion on it. Yeah. My opinion on it is it's a virus, and yeah.
And it's killing people.
Oh wow! How many people have died thus
I don't know.
far?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
Google knows.
I don't
Just
even
do a little Google. I can do a little Google.
I don't even know anyone that's sick or that's died from it. But I do know that the coronavirus, the corona family is real. And I do know that I'm not a doctor, so that I can't say it's not real. But I can say this: better safe than sorry.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, I honestly don't apply a mask when I go out, and I'm sorry, I do my long distance running and biking, and I don't worry about what's to come. But this is just me, and I don't want people to follow me or follow what I'm doing.
And I'm happy for that, because I also remember a while back when we first met, you used to stargaze sun gaze, and you were very
you don't have to bring it up.
Yeah, no, well, I like the fact that you said that, like, you did it, but like you were like, don't do it though. Like, I do it,
correct.
Don't. Yeah, so I do appreciate that.
I don't want to
you still
mislead or want anyone doing things that I do. This is just me, as a.
Do you still stare?
Who I am.
Do you still stare at the sun?
The last time I actually sun gazed was during the last total solar eclipse that we had. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you make your eyes a little itchy? You a little itchy after?
You know what? We're not supposed to be sun gazing during the middle of the day, and your eyes can become watery a little, and you can get double vision from it too, and stuff like that.
Did they itch at all?
Black dot.
I just told you my symptoms. What else do you want me to tell you?
Oh dear.
Hang on.
Oh,
that was great. Are you blind?
Well, you know what? Have you ever done any research on the sun gazing?
Huh?
Have you ever done any research on the internet on people who actually do sun gaze?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I think you're aware of what's going on, and I digress. Don't need to continue this.
Okay, we don't need. Okay, I see what you're saying. I know, so we don't need to discuss the lack of sight,
the pros and cons, and the right times to look at the sun, which is when sunrise and sunset.
With filters and yeah.
When's the best time sun gaze and that sort of thing,
At night. And it won't hurt.
Sunset.
Then you won't go blind.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, I'm not here to convince anyone. Just, I'm an honest human being. But anyway.
So what's your thoughts? Go ahead, Farmers.
Just out of interest, the figure is 206,873. Global.
See, there you go.
There you go. The total confirmed cases is just a shade under 3 million, at 2,992,152. So there you go.
So you guys seem to be, excuse me, but you guys seem to be pretty convinced that this is truly, a natural virus and not a psychological operation. And so, what do you think will? Yes,
it's killing people.
Go ahead and interrupt you. Don't worry about it.
No, fine. It's killing people. It's real.
Okay, let me just finish here. I'm almost done, and I'll leave you guys alone. See, the thing is, when will the economy reopen, and if our thing is going to be normalized? You think? What's going on? I want to know, man. People want to know. People are getting impatient. Even though it hasn't
This
really.
is surreal.
I just want to know. Tell me, guys, what's your opinion, and then I'll leave you guys alone. I don't want to cause too much trouble.
I think the world's going to struggle for a good while, economically. I think it's going to open a lot of our eyes to what can happen in the future, and then we'll probably change things up a little bit, hopefully for the better. But what will happen for sure, I don't know. I'm still working.
You don't know.
So
It's the answer. Okay. Thanks for your honest response. And now let's go to Farmer's Boy. What do you think is gonna happen? Have you have any idea?
Well, pretty much the same. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I think we can pretty much guarantee It's
You
not going to be
don't
the same.
know.
Well,
All
of
right,
course we
thank you, my
don't.
friends. No worries.
What do you want me to
there's-
lie?
No,
do you want
I
me to
don't.
lie and say everything's going to be sort of roses and
Jesus
sunshine?
Christ, you're putting words into my mouth. I never said that. I better get out of here now. I don't want you to lie. I mean, so
Everything will be
I just want
fine,
you guys to
don't
know
worry.
that there's this mark of the beast that's been thrown out there, and the book of Revelation, chapter what is it, 13 verses 6 and 17.
I might be too sober for this.
I might be too high for this.
This is Manny. Like, share, subscribe, don't. I'm out. There you go.
Oh shit!
What was that?
I think the greatest moment in my stream history.
Shout out to Manny. That was super.
For real. That was awesome.
Oh.
Manny, anytime you want to do that little, get like 3-4 minutes to yourself, just ask away. The floor is always, you're always welcome on my panel for that. That was amazing.
Superb.
That was amazing. I kind of want to end the stream on that.
I know what you mean.
It can't get any better. Holy shit.
Oh, he kept it up all the way through. That was brilliant.
And the only complaint in the chat is Sean Hawkins saying, that is not a Boston accent.
Boston accent. Oh, dear.
That was great.
Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. I'm glad I stayed up for this.
Darkseid, he was trying to impersonate Richie from Boston.
Yeah. I thought he did quite a good job of it myself. I thought that was quite good.
That was amazing. I don't know what to say.
Where'd you go from that?
Oh, shit. That was a mic drop moment for sure.
Yeah. I see Ice to Sea's getting a fair amount of flack in the chat. I don't know why.
Yes, I get that, Ice to See. They can be quite pansy sometimes.
So, Sean, when are you going to bring Travis back on to discuss his progress?
Actually, I'll see if you want to come in right now. I'll send him a link on the Discord. Yeah.
I thought sure he would be here.
Yeah, me too. Well,
Yeah.
I was saying all that stuff in Jose's chat because of that. I was like, because I don't know if you guys heard it in the upload, but because I kind of hit the 300 time part when he was starting to say it, but he was like, I watch Jose's, I just listen, so I knew he was there. And that's why when later in the show I started coming in and saying welcome to the Globe, Travis, and all that stuff. I mean, he knows I'm live. Here, I just messaged him the link. And I think I decided that Travis is welcome back on. We just will never talk about his observations again. I'm just not interested. All right. So, I missed a lot of Jose's because, like I said, I was doing that edit, and I'm gonna tell you guys now. Listening to Travis's spiel 6 times over a 6-hour or 8-hour period, because last night and today I started. That was amazing. It was probably the only time I really cared to listen to what Travis was saying.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Did you play that at the beginning of this stream?
Yeah, I kind of played it like in and out of my intro and that little standby part. I could play it right now. It was amazing.
Yeah, I missed that. I came up after Jim's and heard you talking about it, and I was like, shit, I got to get on there and see what's going on with this. There's 2 things that I want to see in this arena and people converting, waking up, and then I want to see the Three Stooges' house crumble beneath their feet.
And that happens quite often. Where is it? All right, so let's do upload. Let's see if we can do it this way. I'm gonna bring it up the upload, And thank you C4 for time stamping that. Travis saying it's not a flat Earth. I'll play that part. And I'll also be able to show the new sharing technique.
Oh, is this what you was on about yesterday?
Yeah. So you know, like you hit present down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, when I set it up now, it's set up for when I hit present. It says it says present your entire screen, a window, and then it says a Chrome tab. This is supposed to take out the lag, the audio issue. You know, you have to change audio settings and all that. Like I don't have to do that. I just have to share that tab.
Oh, yes, I can see that. A Chrome tab, best for video and animation.
Oh, you have it too?
It looks like, well, yeah, I've just clicked
Okay.
on present now to see if I could see the same thing, and it seems I can. So
Okay, so that means I turned it on for the meetup, not just myself.
So does that get around? Yeah, all those silly sound issues we've always
Yes. I haven't figured out how to do it with like an audio player or a movie player that you have, but
Yeah.
it only works for like Chrome. So that's why I'm going to my videos and just pulling up the upload because I'll be able to just share that. But yeah, it's awesome. Let's see.
Mm.
There we go. Okay, so and that's the best part. I can talk. I don't have to mute it or anything.
No, it's cool.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the timestamp that C4 had put. I'll try to find all the good parts. It's hard. It's hard to find the highlights in the highlight thing. 805. And we'll start from here. Yeah, this is my favorite part. Favorite part of the whole damn thing. I know why it's not working.
That ain't working.
Way to fumble that one, Sean. Jesus Christ.
So this is Crash we're listening to then.
Yes, exactly. Trying to figure out why it's not working. Now I feel
Ooh.
retarded. Like I tried. Oh, here we go. Wow, is it really roboting right now?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So much for that update.
Oh well, nice try.
It's my computer. Hang on.
Give it a kick.
Okay, now listen. Okay, I've been on.
It was that
Facebook
share
posts,
effect right here right now.
keyboard warring away, and someone goes, "Well, what about mountains and valleys?" I'm like, okay, if you're stupid enough,
Everyone
to
on
ask that
YouTube can hear it.
question, you don't understand the broader ramifications
How
of the
bizarre.
discussion. Of course, mountains and valleys
It was bloody awful
are
in
not
here.
flat, so that's not the point. So that's why it's too simplistic. Is the Earth flat? No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat.
Okay. Gravity. Do you believe in gravity? Oh, there it is. Fuck. There we go. My bad. I was trying to get it to stop playing, and my computer's flipping out. It's too much Travis.
See, even your computer knows what's good for it. No!
It's like, nope.
Engage Travis filter.
Hang on a second. I'm about to go get my fan. It's fucking hot as fucking San Diego.
Yeah, it's still quite warm here.
No, it's like, I think it's 12 degrees warmer than normal right now. It's like, what? We're in I think it's 92 right now. It's not supposed to be 92.
Okay. It's nowhere near that warm here.
Yeah. It's not summer yet.
Let me just convert it into freedom figures for you. So yeah, I'm sitting there thinking it's hot and it's 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Mind
Wow.
you, it is 20, yeah, it's 20 to 1 in the morning, you know.
Yeah, well, last night here it was 70.
But we've had a week or two of jolly nice weather, so I think this week it's going to rain. Yes, it is. It's going to rain. Brilliant. There you go. That's the UK for you, I'm afraid. You think, oh, summer's here. No, it's not.
Yeah. For the record, Sean Hawkins, no, and I quote, he says the Earth is not flat.
It's true, he did.
Yep. Sean Hawkins thought maybe he was filtering himself through the ether band, and he was really saying the Earth is flat. But that's why I wanted to talk about that with Travis, because I noticed something the last few times we had talked. Because again, Travis doesn't want to ever talk about that stuff, so the opportunity to talk about it, I jumped at it. He doesn't. First of all, Travis doesn't think it's flat. I don't know how else to say it.
No.
Even his explanation for how simplistic the term flat Earth is, he acts as if we talked about it like it was a piece of paper, and obviously not.
No.
And he was very, very happy with saying he was a globe denier. Problem is he's not denying anything of the globe except for curvature, but not how you get to that, just curvature. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
And thank you. I see it was fun. I enjoyed myself. Thank you. I'm not really sure if that was a response to me or other people were talking shit, but I had fun, and I'll definitely do it again. It was great. Like I said,
No.
I said it from the beginning. Isa C had said something about wanting to start moderating, and it was more of a, can she be, fair? And I thought she was 100% fair. I think there's some, obviously things she's going to learn and pick up to be a better moderator, but as in someone who was trying to stop what I was saying, like normal flat earth moderators, I think she did a great job in that regard.
I think that was also probably how shall I put this, a very gentle sort of shoe into moderating, because you two were just, like she said, you were like two 6-year-old brothers.
I couldn't help it.
I just have slightly unfond memories of my two stepsons when they were young, and it just got to the point. It's like, is there anything that you two buggers can't argue about?
It was like he started talking, and I knew it wasn't going to have anything to do with like what I asked. So like I still have it. Look, so about 30 seconds into the conversation, I just started doodling and shit. I couldn't fucking help it. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, there was that point when it all went quiet. And nice to see, asked you something. You said, what? Oh, I was doodling.
Yeah.
Poor old Travis was rambling on and you didn't hear a bloody word.
No, I heard it all. Okay, so, because this is what she saw. Because, like, I'm sitting in front of my computer. And again, when I'm on here and I turn my camera on, I kind of make it a habit to always have my hat on. So if my hat's on and we're having this conversation and I'm doing this, again, looking at this.
Yeah.
I forgot this is all they're seeing. So when he was done talking, I looked at it, I was like, oh, my bad. I was doodling. And this was me trying to explain to Travis, do you live on a globe or do you live on a flat earth?
Oh, is that a slice of pizza?
Yeah, I was trying to explain to him what do you like say? God damn it. It was fun.
Dear.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
It did make me chuckle that, he dropped one or two comments and then straight away he started on the silly voices, and I thought, damn, that's early even for you, He does like to put a bit of a performance on, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was. Travis is like the king of awkward. Like, he make any situation awkward. Like, it was this good conversation, and like, boom, you say something awkward. It was like, dude, really? God damn it, dude. It was fun. I had fun. It was. I'll tell you right now. It was definitely the funnest debate I've ever had. That's
I
for
might
sure.
have to go back and listen to it all again. It's just it was getting late. I was knackered, and I thought, oh god, if he's starting down that route, I don't know whether I can sit here and listen to it. I almost wish I had now, but you
Okay.
know,
Well,
at the time I thought,
okay. So it's worth a listen because we don't talk about the ether band at all. The only time he talks about the ether band is that first part where I did the times 300. So I mean, if you listen to the full upload, get ready because that 300 times speed was for 4 minutes on my editor. Yeah.
Blimey.
I cut some of it off. So you
Well,
understand that.
the advantage of watching something on YouTube when it's when it's not a premiere is you can of course increase the playback speed.
Yeah, guys, everyone in the chat, it's worth listening to. And the reason why I was worried people wouldn't is because of the Etherband topic. It was not part of the whole conversation. There's not. He brings it up. I act like it didn't even happen. And then the one time I effed up and said something about it, I caught myself and cut it off right away. It was not part of the discussion at all. So it is definitely worth a listen. But I told you guys, I'm done talking about that. I'm not going to talk about that topic. It's not. I've lost complete interest in it. So.
Wow, yeah, it doesn't help. It's all bollocks.
Well, that was the other thing I started liking to do, and it's not a gotcha thing, and it's not wrong to do it. It's literally give me your observations. Hey, you do realize our observations are exact same. So how's that work? And that whole argument right there, it literally frustrates them, and then they rage pee.
Rage pee. That's the first. I've not seen that done before.
It was, as far as I was concerned, it was the first rage pee ever.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him 10 out of 10 for originality.
It was great. Like,
full of writing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank God. Oh man, that would piss me off. Oh, and I want to talk about something real quick. Hey Stingray, you asshole. Bring it. Now, I want everyone to understand something. I didn't say something a billion times and he was sick of hearing it. Dean was upset because a week and a half ago he wanted to talk about refraction. And yes, Dean did help me correct something I was saying and understanding about how things work. Thank you, Dean. But I didn't expect for you to talk shit on Jose's. And you may not have talked shit, but you could have just said, oh no, don't worry about it. But you had to weasel around saying Sean was completely wrong about something. So I wanted to say, yes, I was completely wrong. My apologies. I use the term miraging as if it had nothing to do with something else, and Dean helped me get a better understanding of it. But Dean, you're an asshole. I will kick your ass off of Jose's any chance I get now. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of members of Jose's.
Yes.
And I have a big voice. I have convinced quite a few to do my bidding. For instance, Rumpus will never talk again. I'm telling you that right now. I got 10 people lined up just to make sure Rumpus never talks on Jose's again. Yep.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we're gonna in like a year. There's gonna be a whole new conspiracy going on. Who runs the Luma to Jose? It's gonna be awesome.
Well, Twitwick does.
Do we want you to think that?
Yeah, there is that, I suppose.
So like Twitwick is pretty much like the president, right?
Yes. Yes, I see what you mean.
Yes. It's just wonderful.
Somebody said you kicked the radio guy off today.
Oh, okay.
Y'all hear that?
Dick Dawson.
She
Yeah.
kicked Dick Dawson off Jose's because from what I got from it, and she was talking about it at Jim's. I guess he came in and he was just talking a lot of crap about somebody. I think I'm not sure. Did anyone know for sure? Like I said, I didn't hear him get kicked off, so I don't want to say exactly what happened. I have my perception of why it happened, but
No, I missed the actual moment. I think I'd sloped off for a not rage tinkle, and come back and they were talking about it. I thought, shit, what happened? So I actually missed the moment when they kicked him off. So I don't quite know what sort of started all that in the first place.
I stepped out to buy fuel for my big truck, and I came back, and it all happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about it until I heard Twit say something about it over on Jim.
yeah, because I couldn't really imagine. But like for instance, I know my opinion of why he was probably saying something that was just unnecessarily personal or disrespectful. Again, I like the shows. I go over there. I hang out sometimes. I have been asked to go on. It's not their style isn't my style, and I wouldn't fit in there. I just don't fit in the way the conversation rolls. But I do like them, so I can see why it happened. I just don't know exactly why it happened.
I don't think Dick did anything necessarily. I think Twit just doesn't like Dick. Basically.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know what happened, so I'm just giving my opinion of the situation. What happened?
I don't think anything really. Just conversation was going on, and all of a sudden, Twit kicked him. So
Damn.
but that's not important now. The reason I'm here is I want Sean.
Yes.
What is a shape? I need you to tell me what is a shape.
What is a shape?
Example of a shape, or what is a shape?
Well, you couldn't tell Travis what a shape was, and I thought maybe now that you've had time to think about it, you could tell me, just between me and you, what is a shape?
I would think that shape is something that is a shape.
Travis is losing his fucking mind. God almighty.
I thought for sure, like, when he said it's not flat like a piece of paper and flat isn't a shape, I just was like, what is happening right now? And then and Blue, I want to say this, thank you, because I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but I took your approach. Forget what I got to say. Let's hear what you got to say. And it worked. It was great. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Hell, as long as they're willing to do the digging, why should I hurt my back?
Exactly. And I didn't realize how easy it was. Like, I've done little bits of stuff like that before, where you let them hang themselves, basically. But just know, like, from the start, I knew that I was going to do that, because I know Travis has no. Again, I'm as surprised as anyone. Travis was willing to talk about anything besides the Etherman. It was like, whoa. So, yeah, he's way out of his comfort zone. He should probably never talk about anything besides his stuff with someone who will willing to listen.
Yeah, basically.
Again, I didn't go over there to crush him. It was a favor for Ice to see if she wanted to do it, really, like, moderate. And again, for the first time, I think she did great. She didn't get like one-sided or nothing, and didn't shut anyone up for no damn reason. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you seem to be having fun.
I did. Yeah. I had more fun. Like I said, that was probably the funnest time I've ever had. It was just so much not give a F. Like, there's a couple times I was like, oh my God, did I almost get triggered? And I was like, no, you didn't get triggered at all. That was just you knowing you were building up to the answer.
I left Travis a little love note on your upload.
Yeah, I saw that.
Basically, well, for the for information here. Basically asked Travis if he thought, given enough time and some instruction, he would be able to find his own ass. Because it, it doesn't appear that he's able to.
That's bad. It was. I don't know. I don't even. I said it. It was the funnest time and yet the weirdest time. No. Not a favor. I didn't mean a favor, as in like that. I meant as in giving you the like you got to test whether or not you like doing it on your channel. Yes, I suggested it 100%. But you had also suggested you wanted to be a moderator, so that's why I did. Slick James, it was on Eyes to See. She's in the chat right now. Unfortunately, YouTube's our asshole, and they took to go to the channel away, so you can't just do that. But if you type your name in, you'll find it. And then I titled it a little. I made a little highlights of it. And on the ad cards, the little icon in the top right screen of the upload, I put her channel in there and the video, so you can find that. The full.
Yeah, of all the things for YouTube to streamline, why on earth did they take that handy little function away? I don't get that.
Yeah, and I was never a type of person who wanted to ever do the leave a feedback thing, but I've left at least 10 feedbacks. I copied and pasted. Wasn't trying to say different, but yeah, taking that feature away is a real hindrance to streamers. People who stream that just fucked the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Makes it really hard to check to see who's real and who isn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, because you could just go and click and go, oh yeah, that's them, that's their channel.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there is a Sean G clone right now that has my icon that just talks shit. And here's the problem: the clones that make the exact same, I call them clones because if they have the same picture in the same name, I don't see it. So I have to switch my account to see that someone's doing that. To see their comments. I don't see the comments.
Oh, right.
So, like, Jose was saying something, I was like, oh, God, it's back. But, yeah, if you're a mod on a channel and you see a Chandri that's saying some stupid shit, block him.
We'll know it's you.
Jesus. Well, here's the best part. And here's, like, literally, this is the only way to solve this problem. You have to block them. And then I have to go to you because I know everyone. If there are mobs at certain channels, I know at least one of them. And I've got to make sure you know that the clone was in there, and then you let the person. It's a big process now. It makes zero sense. 0 cents for them not taking it. I can't even think of a good reason.
Yeah, no, I can't.
But what was the main topic on Jose's? Oh, and for the record, last night, I was still amped up. Talking to Brian Leakey is another waste of time.
Oh. Yeah.
You think?
Like, it was like, I'm in the middle, like, Jose's like, let Brandon and Sean have a conversation. I can't help it. I have to unmute. I'm sorry. ADHD, ADD does not make you push the fucking mute button off. It does have nothing to do with it. Jeez, that guy is just too much, way too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, just know that too. If you make a comment in my chat that irritates me, I will call you out. Sorry, Brandon Toy. Sorry to have put you on the spot and it made you realize that your whole argument made shit all. Yeah, don't talk shit if you don't know what you're talking about.
Which argument was that?
Because he was like, you made no argument with right to hand. And I was like, you're right. I was asking right to hand the questions. Yeah, and it's funny because all in all, right to hand was like, the rock rolls down the hill, God did it. And it's like, that. I'm not allowed to do tests. Tests are wrong. Like,
oh, that's right. You said you can't do tests. Yeah.
Yep. Tests don't exist, basically.
Really? Oh, there's a thing. I've begun wrong all these years, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just such a bizarre way to go about things. You can't test, really. Well, we can, you know, do it all the time. Might not get the answers you want, but you do the test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just bizarre. No, today, what was today? We were just chewing the fat and, you know, not really getting anywhere. Then Lemon Bird. And that's all you need to say. Just then Lemon Bird, and that was it. It's like, yeah, okay, that's shot the shit.
Here's the one thing I do respect of Lemon Bird. If Lemon Bird hears bullshit from a flat earther, Lemon Bird will say that's bullshit. Wait,
Really?
if Lemon Bird hears something that's not part of his narrative, he'll call bullshit. But realistically, it's those bullshits need to be called anyway.
Yeah.
Like she was telling her right to hand, or my bad. He was telling her right to hand.
Well, you were close.
Yeah, pretty close. Either way, he's not gonna be upset about it.
Probably not.
No, he won't. I know him. It was just I caught that I slipped. He told right to hand, he's like, "Yeah, you are kind of trolling right now. It's not necessary."
Blimey.
It was great.
And that comes from Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's weird. Whole new thing is happening where all these people are just letting everything known on their own. Sorry. I think Chris Berry's scared to come on because he doesn't want me to do that shit to him. That questionnaire thing and make him realize he lives on a globe too.
Yeah, because from what I've seen, the general consensus is that he's just trolling. That he's not, you know, I know there's no such thing as a real flat earther, but, you know, if you could say that, he's not a real flat earther.
See, Travis put him in a good spot. At least he's not doesn't have to say, I'm a flat earther and prove it. His situation is, it's just not a globe. And I don't have to disprove it. Look at my observations.
Yeah, the problem is everybody else looks at his observations and everybody else sees something, and then Travis sees something else.
Yeah, it's weird. But like I said, I'm still working on that audio stuff. Don't think I was bullshitting or thinking that's out of the books. That's just takes a while. Trust me. Listening to the ocean and random mumbles is not easy.
Yeah.
And again, that one to me is a serious upload, so I'm not going to just half-ass and throw it together. And I found some software that takes out the ocean background of it. But then I realized if I did that, someone's going to say I fucked with everything.
Yep.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, where'd you go? How far did you go? Where'd you stop?
I'm not sure how you're going to manage to sit through hours and hours of that, Sean.
So far, I've sat through 55 minutes of 2.5 hours worth of videos I have to watch. Over a week and a half.
It's taking you a week and a half to do that.
I can't do it. Oh my God, listening to that shit. I did that 300 times speed on my upload because I refused to listen to that part again. There was nothing useful. I listened to it twice, realized nothing was useful, for the upload, and went, I can't do it again. And from here to here, I don't need to hear it again. I'm fast forwarding it.
That's fair.
I didn't want to be really mean because every time I asked a question, Travis went into these I know I monologue, and Travis even calls me a monologue professional, or cut someone off or something like that, whatever. But if you watch the whole thing, at least 6 or 7 times, I have to re-ask the question because he just completely diverts by answering it in a 20-minute monologue. It's crazy.
Yeah, when it should take him 30 seconds to a minute.
No. I'm talking yes or no questions.
Really? Yeah, yes or no questions don't take 20 minutes. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, and it was like endless. Travis, Do you believe it? Do you believe in gravity? 10 minutes later. No. I'm sorry. The gravity thing was the only thing he answered no right away. But then at the end of the conversation of gravity, he agreed that everything I explained about gravity, he agreed with. Except for the name.
Great. We'll just change the name then. Still the same thing.
I tried that. And then we changed the subject.
You seen Bob the Science Guy's latest video dismantling QE?
Oh, yes.
No, actually, I got it.
Good.
I need to watch that. How long is it?
Yeah.
It's about 17 minutes, I think. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Bob destroys him. I'm getting ready to do the same thing to him with gas pressure.
I wish we could figure out a way to get him and Nathan to get off their pussy ledge and come out and debate you guys.
They learnt that the last time they did it. And that was way back on... Christ, when was that?
Almost a year ago, right?
Oh, no, it's longer than that, I think.
I've
Like,
challenged both of them repeatedly, and they won't come out from behind the mute button.
Because the only time I ever known Nathan to come off his channel was the one time in Channel Q ripped him a new asshole. I just don't remember where that was, though. It wasn't on the channel. Okay. I know it wasn't on Nathan Oakley.
Nathan Oakley appeared... I think it was... don't think it was non-sequitur. I think it might have been... Was it pre-non-sec? I can't... Oh, God, I can't remember. It's quite a while ago now.
Yeah, it definitely was a while ago, though.
And he rage quit on that one.
Yeah, he quit right after. What, 10 minutes in, he quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take him away. If you take away his mute button and his script, although his script is memorized now, but if you take his mute button away, take away his control, he's fucked. Basically, he just can't. He can't operate.
What I think needs to happen, and again, it's this. At least Travis. The only real thing I agree with Travis on, like 1,000%, was the idea that we don't. No one has debates. Not one fucking channel has a debate. Because I was watching a debate on geoengineering stuff, blah blah blah, and I noticed that the moderator is the one that asks the questions. Or when they respond with that time limit and it changes. But it's like, we're not debating, and we need a situation where QE, Nathan, and all them, like, they have to literally answer the question and explain how it's possible rather than their rhetoric.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think you'll ever get them to do that.
Yeah,
I don't see it won't happen because, well, they know they can't.
And to me, the fact that they won't should be a huge red flag. Any creator that talks about this topic who's not willing to go and do this discussion on another platform that's more even. That's scary. I don't know why would they do that if they had nothing to hide or they felt they were so secure with their explanations. Like, I go around and I know I'm not right about everything, and I murder explanations sometimes. But
no, really.
but I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to go out there and at least try to explain what I understand. And that you have to put yourself out there if you're going to be the one out there trying to say this is wrong. I'm sorry. Let's see. What's up, opinionated asshole? What up, Gleam? I just saw you in there.
Yeah, if you want to really trigger Nathan, just laugh at him when he tries to insult you.
Yeah, he got pretty pissed when I was doing that.
That's what I was doing to him earlier today, and it's he got mad.
Oh, bless.
And the scary part was he instantly was triggered when I went on, It wasn't even like an opportunity to like build up to being an asshole. You just started off. Explain to me, stupid, how this happens, dumbass. Whoa, wait, what? Oh, that was insane.
Mm.
Blue, did you say you talked to Nathan earlier today?
No, I was just sparring with him in the chat. That's all.
Okay. I was gonna say I've got to go listen to that.
Yeah,
No, just read the chat. It's funny.
I'd have been very surprised if Blue had actually sort of gone on the panel. I mean, blimey.
Oh, nowhere in hell would I ever go on that panel.
No.
I probably
Not
asked
a chance.
I've asked a few people who Emma UK is, but now it actually matters because I've been trying to debate Riley, and I guess that would be where it would happen. Is she fair?
No. Not that I've seen. I've seen a couple of conversations on there, and she is absolutely biased.
Oh, I apologize to anyone trying to get into the Hangout. I literally, again, I'm not watching the screen that I'm supposed to all the time. And so, I right now, I'm gonna do this. I have it turned up. I can hear the bell now. No one else will be able to hear it. But I'm actually looking at the screen. I apologize. So,
How long's Hannah been trying to get in?
Hannah, how long have you been trying to get in? I think Slick's been trying to get in.
About 10 minutes or so.
I'm so sorry, people. I'm so sorry.
Maybe the first link wasn't correct, so I went to the second one, and it still was just waiting. Well, he's just not answering the door right now.
I turned the sound off the other Hangout. That's what it was. And then I was typing in the chat for a second. And I forgot. Slick, I apologize, my friends. You know damn well I let you in. I apologize.
That's all right. I figured you were just busy and ignoring the bell.
Yeah, I was. I'm so sorry. I turned the echo off too in the chat. Slick, I apologize. I wasn't watching the right screen. I apologize. You were no worries. Yeah. You guys can thank Phil Ko because he's the one. That's actually the one I saw. He's like, yeah, he's all.
Ignored the chat too.
Oh, I wasn't watching the chat at the time. He said, "Don't censor Slick," and I'm like, "Censor Slick?" I was like, "What the fuck? I don't censor Slick," and then I realized what that meant. I was like, "Uh-oh."
Oops.
Well, because here's the thing, because like Jose does the way Jose does his doorbell account is on his phone in front of him. For me, I got multiple monitors, so I have both Hangouts. So like anytime I can use
half an hour, you bastard. Half a fucking hour.
It reminds me of the Python sketch.
I said I was sorry.
Sorry doesn't cut it. It's time for a conversation, Sean.
Come join the Hangout. I'm not going to let you in.
And that's the worst part because I've been sharing the link too.
Yep.
Yeah, sharing the link
Like,
and then ignoring
is he
everybody.
punking us today?
Well, I thought it was a bit odd.
Is it punk?
There was so many people
pone.
in the side chat, but nobody was coming in. I mean, I thought maybe they just don't want to join in, but no, they're all banging on the bloody door, and Sean's like,
That's
what I thought. I thought everyone was mad at me.
oh, the phone never stopped ringing. Well, have you tried answering
He was
it?
just having. He had too much fun with that fake Manny.
That was amazing.
Who was that though? Does anybody know?
That was Manny.
Was it Manny?
It was Manny.
Oh, he was.
Cause so he was changing his voice, but it sounded like Manny. maybe it was because we're hearing more of a clearer picture of it instead of it going through the OBS and all that stuff to YouTube. But from in here, it sounded 100% like Manny with a raspy voice.
Yeah. Trying to do Richie from Boston.
Yeah, it was
but
quite amazing.
It was still Manny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. Fun, but weird.
Yeah, that was
Just
definitely bizarre.
Yeah.
just to update South Australia's lockdown thing for the human malware that has been all over the planet.
Oh, you talking about
My children went back to
coronavirus?
school today.
What?
My children
Malware.
went back to school today.
Really?
What?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, cool.
As of the 1st in California, masks are mandatory outside.
Yeah.
That's of the
We don't
first.
have
Who's
that.
outside?
Huh?
What do you mean mass mandatory outside?
So if you go outside and you go to a store or you're around anybody, you have to have a mask on.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep. And that starts on the 1st.
Your country sucks.
Or my country's smart.
No.
Yeah,
Well, hang on. How many dead? What?
I don't know. We already talked to Manny about this. I don't know.
we have a lot more people closer together.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in China, but there's a lot of land too.
Yeah, but what's funny is the 2 months prior to your lockdown procedures coming in, everybody else was going social distancing, and you guys were like, nah, it's all right, we won't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
SC Montreal asked, I heard the beaches were full in California. No. Well, here's the thing. All the state beaches are closed, but that doesn't apply to public beaches. And in those situations, cops are threatening to cite people that congregate in groups. But what they've done is, as of the beginning of last week or this week, what they did is they opened up all the places, all the state beaches, all the parks, but you're not allowed to hang out there. They're only open to ride bikes and jog through.
If people say you can't get anything from one country to another, I have actually rather interesting news thanks to FedEx. Okay, I had 2 items from Amazon in Fort Worth, Texas. They've arrived here in Adelaide and will be delivered to my door. They were sent Wednesday. My missus had a replacement Fitbit smartwatch replaced coming from Shenzhen, China. That will be delivered here today, was sent Thursday. So if anyone thinks that shit's shut down when it comes to getting items delivered, it's got something wrong.
Oh,
Well,
no.
you know, they did
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
announce that there would be no restriction on blow up dolls. They said, I heard that the other day. So you're definitely going to get those shipped. That's not a problem.
Yeah. You don't
Yeah,
worry.
well, I didn't know a graphics card and 16 gigabytes of DDR4 was a blow-up doll. But, you know, I could
Yeah,
manufacture
things are
one
getting
with it.
shipped pretty quickly, actually.
Tomato.
That's
Yeah,
just the
also,
code.
I don't think you'll fit a blow-up doll into the box for a Fitbit watch.
That's just the
know.
code that they put on the box. That's
Yep.
just the code that they put on the box so your neighbors don't know what's happening. That's
Or your wife.
Oh, because you fit your bit.
Yeah, or your wife.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
because
We won't
she's
put
getting the
Love-
blow-up doll.
We won't put Love Boutique on your billing access. But don't worry, we're going to
Hey,
send
you
you a
guys-
full life-size pink box.
you guys know I never like to start trouble. You know that about me, right? So
Oh, yeah.
I want to bring
No,
I
but
want
you
to
like
bring up
good
a
chit-chat.
What?
I just want to bring up a subject that's been going on over the last couple of days that I heard, and it sounded like a lot of confusion was going on with UNRTH and Brandon Toy.
Mhm.
I just want to get this out because I've been listening to it. You guys seem to be hung up on this thing about tests.
Yes.
Like there's some confusion there, right? What you were talking about when you were talking about doing a test, like when you were talking about rolling 3 different rocks down a hill.
Yes.
Okay, that is basically still an observation because what you were saying is that I want to see what happens when I roll these 3 rocks down the hill.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's kind of like a in between an experiment and an observation, somewhere in the middle.
I can see what you're saying.
So-
Yes, I agree. I see what you're saying, but just the fact that I am it or better yet, Just the fact that it's no longer a phenomena that we're observing, but more of a phenomena we're conducting, or a phenomena. Yeah, I mean, a test of a phenomena. There's a huge difference in it. The fact that I'm manipulating, I'm conducting it.
Yes, you're sort of saying, well, I want to see what happens if I do this. So that is a test, but at the same time, you're still not finding out the cause of the result. And I think that's where you guys were getting confused about, because you were just at the preliminary stages of asking the question, but
Yeah.
you can't invoke a cause based on what you see. You'd have to do real experiment.
Okay,
So
but
that's
But don't
what,
you want to see the effect
Well,
prior
hang
to
on.
trying to work out the cause?
Well, hang on. But Slick, would you agree that regardless of the argument, to verify it with yourself, you would have to perform tests, experiments to verify your what you're seeing to your extent.
sure. In other words, see, what happens is you have an idea in your mind.
Mhm.
So what you say is, you know what, I got this idea in my mind. I want to see what happens if I roll 3 rocks down a hill. See, so you're at the hypothesis stage. So
Yes.
that's where the confusion is, because you can't jump to the conclusion stage yet. And I think that's where you guys were having a misunderstanding, because you're still in the hypothesis stage. You haven't found the results of why they fell down the way they did.
Well, here's the thing. Remember when we had our conversation about it? How far
Yes.
would that a conversation have gone if you said, Sean, tests aren't real. You can't do tests.
Right, and I understand it, and that's where the confusion is in. And I think what you guys should have done was stopped and got clarity, because, like I said, you're in between. See, he was arguing on one side of the argument, and you were arguing on the other side of the argument, but actually both of you were right in the middle of the argument. You understand?
Well, okay.
Because you have.
I'm going to let everyone know, because I think I've said something, but I've suggested it to you as well. If you were possibly able to, I guess, explain to him that we need to get that test part underway, explained and understood, we could do it again with you moderating it. But
Sure.
And the reason why I suggested moderating it is because we've basically had this same conversation without the asshole part of from anybody, and that's where he f's up in it. Where we were doing the build, he can't do that, and he needs and I need to see where he's coming from. And I think someone who can understand what the conversation is would be able to maybe explain to him how this conversation needs to work, I guess.
Sure, yeah, like I said, because I listened to it and I could tell where the confusion was coming from.
Yeah, well, maybe because I was in it, I don't see it, and I need someone from the other side, a different perspective. I mean, but I am going to put that out there.
Well,
I know he won't just talk to you like he talks to me, and if you're moderating, I feel like when you see those moments happening, you'll be able to diffuse it. So I am putting that out there, and maybe you can talk to Right to Hand, and then we'll set it up from that point.
Okay, sure, be glad to.
But I agree with you, Slick. I see what you're saying, that there definitely could be some confusion in there that I don't see.
Yeah, see, because it's like this. See, what you were seeing was that you were drawing a conclusion from rolling the rocks down the hill. So you rolled the rocks down the hill, and then you decided what the cause of the rocks rolling down the way that they did. And see, and that's what you can't do yet, because you have to actually do an experiment first. You can't really kind of just decide, say, oh, okay, I see this must be happening. And I think that's where the confusion is coming in. That's why RTH, see, this is why RTH was just saying, oh, if that's the case, I could just say God did it. See what I'm saying? He was understanding you to say that you were drawing a conclusion of why the rocks rolled down they did. So that's why he was saying, well, I could just say God did it if you could say gravity did it. So that's where the confusion was.
So what you're saying is in that, from the phenomenon which we're observing, I need to figure out a way to break it down to more of me getting to the understanding of it, rather than this is why.
Right. In other words, you have to see, what you did was you rolled the 3 rocks down, And that was a test, right? Because you wanted to see what happened, but you can't just draw a conclusion. You have to actually experiment to find a conclusion. You can't just decide and say, "Oh, I see these 3 rocks do this, therefore gravity did it." See, that is a no-no.
I think I was fast tracking the explanation too much.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why he jumped in and said, well, if that's the case, if you can just declare that gravity did it, I can declare God did it. And that's why you guys were having the confusion. Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I see. Okay. Oh, awesome. I see exactly what you mean now. See, and that's why, because like I said, it's hard to moderate and decide what happened in a situation when I'm emotionally invested in who I'm talking to.
It's difficult to moderate your own fight. Imagine a fight with no referee. It just doesn't work. Yeah. You can't do it. You can't moderate your own fight. And a lot of times people get caught up in moderating their own fight, and it just don't work.
Yeah.
I mean, who's another one? And then, I mean, just to show you that I'm not on sides, that's what Nathan Oakley does. He moderates his own fights. QE, he moderates his own fight. He can't lose. See what I mean? Yeah. So it's like no matter what you do, it's it doesn't work.
And I see more of what you were saying in the server when you were saying that where the conversation started, and then I became more of a judge than when he was a prosecutor. I see what you mean.
Right. All right.
But yeah, I'm interested in that.
True.
And then again, I'll have Travis on anytime now if we're not talking about the ether crap.
and Sean, I credit you for being open-minded enough to understand that. That takes a lot to be open-minded to say, okay, yeah, I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, and if I'm going to spout what I believe in, the truth and wanting to figure things out, there's no other way. I can't dismiss me being wrong because obviously I'm looking to be right. Like I'm really looking to be right. I want to be right about everything. That's my goal. As possible as it is, I gotta admit when I'm wrong because I gotta be right.
That's good philosophy.
How you doing, Dr. Bob?
Hey, Sean, how you?
Good. Just hanging out. I figured I was going to go live a lot earlier, but Debate Flat Earth and More, Jim Panda, he went live, and he's actually, his viewers and everything's starting to ramp up, and I can see that, need to step back a little bit and let them do their thing.
Got to get that bullion, Sean. Got to get that bullion.
Well, that's the thing.
That was a good show.
Which will be worthless if there's no currency to measure it against.
Well, when they do the one,
it's just shiny stuff.
Yeah,
it's just shiny stuff.
What were you saying, Slick?
Hey, I would say that was a good show. The part that I enjoyed the most was when they cornered themselves because Ken had to admit that you could concentrate those antennas into a beam, and just looking at those guys on the panel squirm, I'm sorry, guys, but I got a kick out of that, for real.
Yeah. So I don't know a lot about the 5G thing, but there is something I do know. And I've heard a lot of people talking about it and being honest about it. There is a level of it being dangerous to a certain extent, but we're not anywhere in that range is what I got from it. But to deny that it's not dangerous in any regards is bullshit.
Yeah, Sean, that's the thing. A lot of people haven't actually seen these types of antennas up close, or a 4G or a 3G antenna.
Yeah. No.
All of these antennas have a little warning symbol on the bottom of them that says, do not spend prolonged time within 8 foot of this antenna, as it may cause radio transmission issues to your body.
Because
yes, the same with the AM towers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he was trying to tell you. Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure if you guys remember when I hiked up to the direct laser site that does the laser moonbeam readings. Up there, I was talking to him, and he was letting me know that the how do you explain it? Everywhere that it's gated is basically the safe zone, but tatted all around everything up there is radiation site. Stay back. Like there's signs on all these things. That's why you don't see pictures of people fucking straddling the fucking 5G towers. And this whole burn shit down. All those people need to go to prison.
those lasers they use to shoot at the moon reflectors. Do you know how much they cost, Sean?
I don't know how much they cost, but I know they're about 3 feet in diameter.
Yeah. Try starting with a B.
Damn.
$1 billion.
For dollars. Yeah. $1 billion for a laser to point at a reflector on the moon.
Well, like
These
I
are
said,
helium-cooled
Well, they got-
lasers. Yeah.
They've got the money. Money's not an issue. You know, they got all the money they need. That's not a problem.
well, most
Actually,
of
a
those
lot
sites
of
that
those
do
lasers
that,
were donated.
yeah, those sites have nothing to do with NASA. Nothing at all. The place I know of is ran by LLC something. I forget the name of the group completely. I haven't looked in a while, but it's like LLC Observatory actually it runs that site, and it used to be an old military site way back in the day.
Well, you know, it comes down to funding. You know, it's like who's getting funded from where. That's, you know.
Also, news out of South Australia. Once this lockdown thing stops, our private spaceport's going to be starting construction.
Oh, nice. Like, are you guys going to start launching your own stuff, or just satellites? Are you like people, or just satellites?
Most of it will be subpolar orbit satellites, so southern hemisphere satellites.
I just got scared with bacon.
You got scared with bacon?
Yes, bacon was made, and I didn't know. And then they snuck up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder with bacon.
Does it come with a cupcake?
No, just bacon, eggs, and sausage and toast.
Oh, you got dinner.
Yep.
Yeah, breakfast for dinner. Yum.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna share.
Okay. See how this works.
Turn on your camera. Let's see what you got there, Sean.
Hang on, my
He'll
camera's
let you.
lagging.
He'll let you listen.
You can definitely hear it. There you go. Bacon.
Where's your bacon?
Right there.
Crispy.
Mm.
Nice. Eggs. Boy, you're a little spoiled little boy.
Yeah, you got one part right there, Hannah. Little boy.
I got bacon. I got bacon. I got bacon. Hey, 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 hey. Sorry.
Just riveting your shirt.
My bad.
And no shirt, mate. What the hell?
It's
It's
fucking hot as
90
shit.
some degrees in
Yeah, it's
Southern
hot
California.
Yep. Forget all that. I don't care. That's right. No shirt. I used to be no shirt all the time. Why not now?
Well, at the moment, when I walk outside and the grass isn't green, it's a light shade of white-ish green. Put on a jumper.
It's gonna rain tonight here. Ooh, and tomorrow. Crap.
Because during autumn here, or fall especially in South Australia, we get bugger all cloud cover, but the temperature drops so fast, the dew point goes up. So you walk outside at 6 o'clock in the morning and the grass goes crunch.
Damn. Even the grass is trying to kill you.
No, it's trying to provide us with water. That'll probably kill us.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking because your seasons are like completely backwards. I mean, Santa.
Well, it depends where you live in this country.
Yeah. The Santa. No, it doesn't matter. Santa, all in the reindeers, they live in a snowy environment.
What's your name? Right the hand.
What season is Christmas for you?
Summer.
Summer.
So you're telling me that your Christmas is on the hottest part of the year?
It's also 3 days after the longest day of the year.
So what you're telling me is
They're
that
backwards.
reindeer with all that hair, a big fat dude in a big suit who lives in a snowy environment is flying to a hot environment to deliver packages into chimneys that are
Do I
sooty and
have to show
dirty
you
because they're not
pictures
being
of
used.
Aussie Santa?
Oh my
Do I
God,
have
is
to
there an
get you
Aussie
pictures of
Santa?
Aussie Santa?
There's an Aussie Santa. Oh my fucking God, I had no clue. Please show me.
Yeah, he's wearing shorts.
Oh my God, I had never heard of Aussie Santa. I'm serious.
Look it up. Google it.
I am.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
Short-
weird to have Christmas in the middle of summer, though.
See?
Santa was
Well,
short.
actually,
He's
that's
only
the-
there about 10 minutes.
I was
He's
about
only
to say
there for
something
5
stupid.
seconds.
I was about to say something really stupid. I was about to say, or the 4th of July in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't have Independence Day. We're a federation, mate. We're not an independent country.
That's why I said it the way I did. Oh my God.
Yeah,
they
watching
have an
people-
Aussie Santa.
Watching people celebrate Christmas in Florida is absolutely hilarious.
Yo, Florida's basically the US equivalent of Australia.
Except it's
Always
different.
hot, always humid.
Yeah, that's true. I went there in
It's
October.
hurricanes, we get cyclones.
I went there in October and it was 86 degrees with 100% humidity.
Yeah,
There
it
you go.
sucks.
That first one's blue.
I like this
I
one.
beg your pardon.
That's not blue. He doesn't look like that.
For real, Blue is much older than Santa.
Hey.
Hey. I do have other places I can go, you know.
Yeah. Don't be mean to Blue.
I'm not being mean. It's the truth. Let me see.
So you guys don't want to start a fight or something? It sounds like Martha Stewart night or something.
Oh, are you itching to fight?
It's a little different
Well, you
when
know
like,
me, I'm
you
a-
ask for it too, huh?
I mean, there's a couple people on the panel. There's a couple fighters. I see Bob. He likes to fight, you know, or he can leave. Oh, he's there. Yeah, you know. You got Bob, Big Blue. These guys like to put up a little fight. So I figured, you know.
I think that's Slick throwing the cast out.
He's trying to, huh?
Well,
Well, you know,
when
they
you find
probably-
somebody that can put up a fight to match it, have them come in.
You know, they know I turn up the heat, you know, so you know they probably don't want to be bothered with the heat. I understand.
No,
Oh.
I just find you humorous.
Hey, well, Bob, wait a minute, Bob, since you're here, maybe I can ask you a question because you seem to know a lot. The year is 2020, right? Why is that?
Oh, brother. Seriously?
What, you scared of that one? Is that too hot?
Hey,
I get,
you did this 12 hours ago over in Gems. Bloody hell.
oh, yeah, I know, but I never got fired because it got hot.
Because that's what the
You wanted
calendar
it to
says
get
it is.
hot.
I turned up the heat.
Why is it 2020?
Yeah.
Because we can fucking count. That's why.
Because it comes
Wow,
after
that's your
2019.
answer. So where did you
Because
start
again,
counting from?
2012.
Well, where'd you start counting from, Blue?
Well, if I was
One?
going to, yeah, you can start with one. That's a good place.
Right, but for a reason. You had to start there for a reason. What was the reason? I mean, is the universe 20 years old or what?
I didn't start there.
Well, somebody did, and why?
Well, you need to go find them and
Convention.
ask them.
Well, that's what you don't know. You know, I mean, you guys seem to know a lot of things. You don't know that.
We weren't back there. Like, who
I
was
don't-
in?
That would
We
that
don't
would
Material
have anyone who's
decree.
that old.
that would require I have beliefs, Slick, and I don't have any beliefs.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, but you
And I
still
don't
can.
care to
you
have
can-
beliefs because it's not
you can-
important to me.
Sure, but you can still understand information without having beliefs. I mean,
I don't
come
need to
on.
understand anything. God takes care of that for me.
Oh, okay.
I let other people do
that's
my
nice.
thinking for me.
What do? Just wander around aimlessly with your arms stretched out and your eyes closed, banging into shit?
Yeah, I'm thinking about going into flat Earth. I feel that I'll have people that I can relate to there.
No, please don't come. No, you can't. No, you're not even allowed over here, dude. Stay where you're at. Just please stay where you're
Hang
at.
on. Are you
That's
the
good.
arbiter of the flat Earth there?
Right.
Well, it's not that. It's just that we only allow certain, you got to have a certain swag about you to be over in this game. You can't just be
Okay, so
anybody.
you're
Like
an
Nathan Oakley?
exclusionary club.
Like Nathan Oakley, do you beat your kids too? Is that a
Now,
requirement?
see what I'm saying? Now here we go with the slander. Now, is that nice, Bob, to slander
Why
people?
is it
You ain't seen
slander?
any.
Slander?
We have evidence.
What's slander mean?
We have evidence of
Truth,
it.
What
truth
does
cannot be
slander
Oh
mean,
slandered.
man,
Slick?
I can't believe you. I can't believe you guys would stoop that low to slander somebody. Slander is something that you make up on somebody and pass it around as truth. Come on, man.
No,
Wanna hear the
that's not
tape?
slander. That
You
is
wanna
not
hear the tape?
slander.
You want to hear the tape,
What do you
Slick?
mean? What do you mean? Hear the tape?
You want to hear him hitting his kid?
I know, but what are you talking about? Hear the tape? How does somebody hear the tape?
Do you
Okay,
listen?
so you're
Recording.
Do you understand the English language?
yeah. He knows.
Yeah, I heard what you said.
Nathan. He
I
knows
heard what
Nathan.
you
did I
said,
say
but I'm
then?
just
What did I say
dude.
then?
Listen, I don't need to repeat the dumb shit. I heard what you said the first time.
Okay, so there
So
you
you're
go.
diverting from the topic.
Like I said, it seems like you're just blaming a man for doing something for something that you heard.
What?
The man
But were
is
you
accusing.
there?
The man heard. The man
Do you
heard
want to hear the
something
tape?
over the internet.
Do you want to
Dude,
hear
what
the
tape?
tape of him hitting his kid?
Okay, first of all, do you have a tape of him hitting his
Yes,
kid? Do
I
you have a
do.
you have a video of it, an actual video?
Do I need a video?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to show a person hitting their kid, yeah, you got to have something.
I have an audio tape of it.
Audio.
Oh, so you have some audio, so you don't have any video.
We have
Oh,
digital
I
audio.
wasn't there either, Slick. Does that mean it didn't
Okay.
happen?
Okay, so you can just say it happened, and you just because you're Bob the science guy, it happened because you said so.
Slick, digital
You're funny,
audio.
Slick.
He is itching for a fight.
Dude, I'm just saying that sounds kind of rough, boss. Come on, man.
Nah, I don't
Yes,
have
he
time
did
for
hit
your
his kid.
nonsense.
Like I said, if you have a video of him hitting his kid, I would really like to see it.
We have digital
Okay,
audio.
Slick, do you have a video of the flat Earth, my friend?
What flat Earth?
Do you have a video of Jesus, Slick?
What Jesus?
Do you have a video of Jesus?
What Jesus?
Do you have video of Slick James? What Slick James? Who said
Man,
anything about
you're
Slick
asking me
James?
these
Slick
dumb
James
questions
doesn't
like I know
exist.
something about it. Like I know something about a Jesus and a flat Earth. What
Do
is
you
your problem?
have video
Take
of
care.
Slick James?
Take care, Slick.
Yeah, take care because you came unarmed.
So Slick, do you
Hang
have
on,
video
Slick,
of Slick
but
James?
you were busy defending someone. You're busy
Really?
defending someone that we have audio of doing something, yet we ask you to provide evidence of certain things that you go around spouting day after day, and you have none of it to show.
What's the
I know, but
difference
what I'm
between
saying.
religion and scientific method, Slick?
Well, I don't know. I'm not religious, so I don't know what to tell you, big
What's
time.
the difference between belief and scientific method?
Well, scientific evidence is based on
Method,
cause and
not
effect.
evidence.
And
Not evidence. Method. Listen to what
I
I
said,
say.
I know, and I said what I said. Scientific method is based on cause and effect, and belief is just you making a reality for your imagination.
Scientific method is not based on cause and effect.
Well,
It's
what is
based
it?
on
Tell me what it is.
verification. Well,
Yeah, of
tell me the
cause
first
of
step
cause
of
of
scientific method.
cause of an effect.
What's the first step of scientific method?
Well, it depends. It could be a few things. It could be an observation. It
Give
could be
me-
an idea, or whatever. You know,
Would you agree with ask a question?
that would work too. You can ask a question. That's what I said. Have an idea.
That's
You can have an
that's
idea.
a pretty broad. That's a pretty broad one, right?
Whatever.
What's the next step of scientific method after you've asked the question?
Well, after you ask the question, you got to say, well, is this plausible? You know, you got to go over in your mind and find out if
Is
there
the
is
question
such a.
plausible?
That's what you go over in your mind when you come up
That's
with an
not what you
idea.
go over in your mind.
Do you have a problem? Do you have some type of tick problem that you can't help yourself?
Well, if you don't know
Like
what
you
it is, just say you don't know what it is.
I know, but do you have random mouth disorder where your mouth just goes into gear that you can't control it?
Slick,
Because I
stop
was talking.
complaining and answer the damn question.
I
Answer the
was
question.
answering it, but he's got random mouth disorder, and it's kind of confusing. I'm trying to talk.
That's
Now,
how
like I said, what
conversations
happened,
Answer
happen.
the damn question.
like I
Slick.
said, what you do is you have an idea, and if you have an idea, you ask yourself, is this idea plausible? Now, that would be what they call like a hypothesis. So that would be your next step.
No.
No.
Is the question plausible?
In other words, I just told you, you're not listening, Bob, the comb over guy. When you have an idea, the first thing you have to
Slick,
ask
I'll tell
yourself
you what.
about the idea, is it plausible?
Before you go on, you apologize for the ad hoc.
Okay, I apologize for the ad hoc.
Fuck you. You're done.
I said I apologize. I apologize.
And I said, fuck you. I don't feel like dealing with you
Oh,
anymore.
man. Okay, don't worry about it. It was getting ready to get hot anyway. You might as well take your ass home.
I'm back now. What have I missed?
All right.
Oh, it was about to get hot.
You didn't
It was
miss
about to
anything,
get
Sean.
hot on Bob. I was
just
turning
ready
up the
to hand
heat.
Slick his ass again.
Okay, well, hand
It
it.
gets boring.
Come on, I
doing that.
apologize. I know, but let's see you hand it. Come on, Bob. Let's see what you got.
Go right ahead.
Come on,
All right.
man.
So how do you decide if a question is plausible? What does plausible mean to you?
Okay, sure. When you have an idea about something, the first thing you have to do is go over in your mind whether it can happen or not. I mean, if it doesn't sound plausible, then you just drop the idea altogether. If it sounds plausible, well, then you say, you know what? I think I want to find out if this can work. And that's when you start conducting some experiments to see if it can happen.
What are
Am
you
I right so
experimenting
far?
on?
It depends on what your idea is.
Okay, see, this is where you have a complete lack of understanding of what the scientific method is. Step one,
Well, fill me in.
ask a question. Step two,
Okay,
propose an answer.
I said that.
No, you did not. You said
I
you
did
asked
say
if the
propose.
question was
Well,
possible.
you just playing semantics.
I said
You just playing
specifically
semantic games.
propose an answer that answers the question.
You're just playing
Then
semantic
you
games.
test your answer. You make a prediction based on your answer. Then you test it. You
I
understand me
said the
so
same
far?
thing. I said the same thing you did. You just changed words.
I don't think so.
Yes, you did. I said the same thing. You have an idea, and you see if the idea is plausible. That would be your hypothesis, and then you experiment to
What's
see
your
if it's
idea?
true. It depends on what the idea is. If you want to have an example,
That means
let's make
because
one.
you have to have a question that your idea answers. You
Okay,
see
you're
the
just playing
difference?
semantic. No, you're just
No, do you
playing
see the
semantic
difference?
games. I know, but you're just
Okay.
playing semantic games, Bob. That's all.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
you
he
are.
got
You
you,
just.
Slick.
I'm sure
He
you.
got
Of course
in
you
the
do.
corner.
Of course, Lori. Of course he does.
You wanted
See,
to
Slick,
play
you
games
can't-
and you wanted to bring the heat, so now
Yeah.
we have heat.
All right, so
Okay,
you've got
well, like
some
I
heat.
said-
Let's just show how little you understand about science. So,
Okay, well, go ahead.
if you have a question, why is the sky blue?
Okay.
Why can I only see so far on the horizon? Why does water boil? Things like that. Well, then you can sit down and propose a solution to that answer. Well, it's relativity. It's Newtonian gravity. It's Earth curve. Then you make a prediction based on your answer. Well, if it's Earth curve, things should do this. Then you go out and conduct an experiment. Do things act as you would predict, or do they not act as you would predict? So, for example, why can't I see things a long way over the horizon? My answer is, or my proposed answer is, because the Earth is curved. Well, if the Earth is curved, then this will happen and this will not happen. I go out and test this and that. If my thing happens and the other thing does not happen, I have a confirmation through my experiment. Now, here's another example of one that doesn't work.
Well, let's just
Light
stop for a
requires a
second.
medium. Not
Oh,
done
no,
yet.
wait a minute. I know,
No,
but you're
you're going to wait until
scattergunning.
I'm done, Slick.
I know, but I'm just letting you know that you're scattergunning. That's all. Because you
That's because
gave one
if you
idea.
can't follow the conversation, if you can't follow the conversation, that's your fault.
Well, let's stop and work with what you got so far. Slow down. You ain't got to give me another one. Let's stop with that
All
one
right,
for a minute.
go right ahead.
Let's deal.
So,
Okay.
ask the question,
Okay.
propose the
Hold
answer,
on, dude.
make
What
a
is your problem?
prediction, and test the answer.
I said
There's where you
slow
can
down.
start from.
Bob,
You have to
take
use
it easy.
those
I know
four,
it's
and then
hot.
you can start
Bob,
from there.
I know it's hot. I know it's hot. I understand. I bring
Hot?
the heat. So just slow down. It's hot. I get it. Now let's talk
Hot?
about what you just said. Yes, let's talk about what you just said a
You think
second
I'm
ago. So
worried
let's
about
go.
you, Slick?
Dude, take it easy. If you're not worried, you wouldn't be bringing it up. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you just said. Now you said that you come up with some calculations and see if they happen, and you decide, like you make a decision that if this happens, then the earth is curved, and if this doesn't happen, it's not. Are you saying that you just make decisions on these things? Because that's what I want to do, Bob, is get clarity, because that's what it sounded like you said.
Well, then you need to listen better.
I did listen. That's what you said.
All
You
right.
said that you
Try it
decide that this could
Try it
happen
again.
and this couldn't happen. No, because I'm not
Try it
finished
again.
yet, Bob. I got one more point. I got one more point before I know it's hot. Just hang in there. Now, the thing is,
No,
when you
I'm just
made
amazed
this,
that you
hang
can't
in
understand
there.
a simple
Would
thing.
you hang in there? Just hang in there, Bob. I know it's hot. Now, you said that you decided that this could happen and this couldn't happen. Have you ruled out all of your variables when you come to this understanding?
That's not what I
Have
said.
you, like, in other words, I'm asking you, have you
I didn't say
ruled
that
out
at all.
I know, I'm asking you, have you ruled out all of the other options?
That's not what
when
I
you
said
come?
I was going to do.
I know, that's why I'm asking you.
Okay, so instead of asking me on something that you make up, ask me on
I'm not
something
making
I
up
actually
anything.
said. What did I say?
Okay, let's slow down a minute, Bob, because it seemed like you want to run, and I want to hold you right here. Now, you said,
excuse
take
me.
it easy,
Drop
Bob.
the
It's
ad
hot,
homs.
dude. It's hot.
Understand
I know. Ad
what was
hom.
said.
It's not. It's hot. It's not an ad hom.
Nah, you aren't even
Okay.
hot. You're kind of lukewarm.
Okay, well then let's
not even a bit of a
well, hang
symbol.
in there, Bob, because you seem like you don't want to talk about this. It's your
Well, you
thing.
can't comprehend
You said it. It's Bob, listen, it's your thing. You said it, you brought it up. You said that you make a calculation and you decide that if this
I never
happens,
said any such thing.
You said if this happens, it must be Earth
I
curve.
never
and
said
if
any such thing.
Oh, now you're backtracking. Okay, Bob, don't worry about
No, I'm correcting you.
it. Okay, well, tell me what you said.
All right. I said, I asked a question. Why can't I see X number of miles over the horizon? I proposed an answer. And that was because the Earth is curved. Okay. Then I made a prediction on that answer. And then I tested to see whether or not that prediction was correct.
Okay, so what you're saying is you presuppose your outcome.
No, I predicted an outcome based on my proposed answer.
Okay,
it may be
I
right,
understand, but
it may be wrong.
But here's my question to you, Bob. Why did you propose anything? Why didn't you just do the
Because
test
that's what
and then
science
see what?
does.
Dude, take it easy. Like I said, I know it's hot. What I'm asking you is,
I'm just
oh
amazed
my
that you
God,
have
here we
this
go. Here we
little
go.
amount of scientific knowledge.
Here we go. This is where it gets hot. You just cut me off as soon as I start talking. I know it's hot, Bob. I got you. You know.
You're funny.
So anyway, yeah, I know. So
You
anyway,
amuse me, Slick.
Oh my gosh, listen to this guy, dude. You are take it
You
easy,
amuse
Bob.
me.
Bob, take it easy. Now you said that if there's Earth curve, now why would you propose that? Why don't you just conduct your test and then see what your results are, rather than propose your results just to see if you can find them? Now, can you answer that for me?
Sure, easily.
I'm
I already have.
No, I'm asking you why are you proposing your outcome? Why are you doing that?
Because when you propose an answer to your questions, you have to propose an answer, which means a mechanism as to why it happens. Then what you use is that mechanism to make a prediction, and then you test to see if that prediction is correct.
Yeah,
now,
but like I
it
said,
either matches the prediction or it doesn't. If it doesn't, if your test does not match the prediction, you have to throw out your proposed mechanism and come up with a better one.
Okay, but here's the problem in your scenario. You haven't
There's no
ruled
problem
out
in
all.
my scenario at all.
Dude, if you listen, I'll tell you. If the problem in your scenario is that you're coming up with one option, this Earth curve thing, and then you're saying once your experiment shows that it's Earth curve, you're done. But my question to you is, have you ruled out
I didn't
all
say
of
that
the
I was done.
Dude, take it easy. It's hot. I know. What I'm asking you is
No,
that, oh my God, it's hot. It's hotter
you're
than I
kind of
thought.
funny.
Yeah,
No,
I bet I
you're
am funny. Yeah, I bet it's
funny.
funny. Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, you're hilarious.
Yeah, I know you. I know
It
it's
is.
funny.
It's
I
sad in
know.
a way, though.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure
sad
it
in a way.
is. Right. Bob, if you want to run and drop out of this, just go ahead. I don't even want to burn you if it's going to be that painful.
You're not going to be quite that lucky, Slick.
Well, like I'm saying, it seems
Let's
like
show
just
how
every
little you
time I
know
ask you,
about this.
every time I ask you a question, you seem to start interrupting me, and I don't understand what that's about.
Well, that's because you go off to things that I didn't say. You need to pay
I know, but I'm
attention to what I
asking you a
say and
question.
follow along.
Right. I heard what you
Was
said,
it
and I have
related
a
to
couple.
something I said?
Yes, I have a couple questions about what
Okay,
you
show me
said.
how
If you
it's
don't,
related.
yes. Now, I'm asking you questions. Have you ruled out all of the possibilities in your discovery?
What did I say?
That's what I'm asking you.
What did I say?
Dude, you haven't said anything because I'm asking you. You didn't answer me yet.
Okay. I said you ask a question and you propose a solution to that question, a mechanism. Then you make a prediction based on that proposed solution. Then you do a test to see if your proposed solution matches the readings that you get in the real world. And that is your first piece of evidence towards your theory.
And that's when I asked you, have you ruled out all of the other possibilities that could have given you the same result?
Part of your testing involves looking at things called error bars, and
It's
you
not my
look
question.
for potential sources of error, and those are the other things that could cause it.
Not what I asked you.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
I know, but I asked you
whether or not.
Why are you answering me a
I
question that I didn't ask you? That's not, what would you do that for?
Why are you asking me questions about things I didn't say?
I didn't say you said it. I'm asking you a question about your results. I'm asking you, are there any other possibilities that you've overlooked in your results?
Why do I need to say the same thing again?
Okay, but then never mind, Bob. Let's not, like I said, no problem. It was nice talking to you. We can drop it. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for stopping in.
Not a problem. You leaving now?
No.
Okay, well then you're not done. You're not off
Well,
the hook yet.
well,
So when you
okay.
propose
Oh, my
the
goodness.
mechanism and make a prediction, you can then test that prediction against reality. So for example, if the Earth is curved, I should see this. Do I see
How do you
this?
know?
Yes,
How
I
do you know?
Okay.
Well, how do you know what you should see?
You measure it. You make that prediction based on your understanding of the you formulate.
But this is my question, Bob. What is making you think?
Here's a good example.
Okay, well, if you're scared of questions,
stop,
I won't ask.
Stop.
Do you want a monologue? Do
Here-
you just want this to be
here
your
is an
monologue and I
excellent-
go on mute? Because I could do that for you.
I really don't care
You
what you do, Slick.
I mean,
Now,
I'm
for
just
example,
saying,
if your
you're telling me
hypothesis-
something, but I have a question and I want to get clarity.
Well, then make a concise question that actually follows.
I
from
don't
the
need
thing
you to
that I'm
tell me
telling
how to form my question. I know how to form my
I'll
question.
tell you whatever I want. I'll tell you whatever I want.
Now, my question to you is,
Now,
like I said,
go ahead and ask your question.
my question is, like I said before, once you come to these conclusions, have you ruled out all other possibilities that could be giving you these results? That's an important question.
You don't
for me.
have to rule them all out. You don't have to rule
Okay,
them
well then,
all out.
okay, well now let me tell you this. What do you mean you don't have to rule them all out? Because what you're saying is this. I got a thought that it might be Earth curve. I did some measurements that show that yes, it's Earth curve, but you don't understand that it could be something else. So in other words, you could be getting the same results for something else.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to propose an alternative explanation. I'm testing my explanation.
Right. Let me tell you how science works, Bob, because I think you're missing something. This is how science works.
Oh, really? You don't even know what scientific method is, and
listen,
you want to presume to lecture me?
Do you want to have a conversation, or are you just going to talk over me every time I say something? Because that's annoying.
Well, you have nothing to teach me. I'm trying to teach you about scientific
Okay,
method.
exactly. And that's your problem. That's why you can't learn anything, because you're always trying to teach. Sometimes you need to sit down and learn sometime, then you'll understand things.
Do you have
That,
a little
that's your
theory you want to
problem.
try on me?
I'm trying to
Do you
do
have
it
a
now,
little-
but you keep running your
Go
damn
right
mouth,
ahead.
Bob.
No, go right ahead, Slick. I need a
Okay,
laugh.
well, this is how science works. Science works by trying to find the cause for an effect. In other words, if you have an idea about something, well, you want to find out what is causing that idea. You don't just presuppose the idea and say, oh, this is causing it. Because if that's the case, you don't even need science, because you're so damn smart. You could just make an observation and just decide what's doing it. So what would be the point of science when all you have to do is just, hey, I think it's curved. So I decided, yes,
You
it's
missed that
curved.
whole conversation, didn't
That's
you?
not, dude, I heard the whole thing. You missed mine. You missed my
No, I
part of
didn't
the
miss yours
conversation.
one bit. I'm just
Yes, you
laughing at
did.
it because you're missing the key part of it. The ability to use your proposed answer to make a prediction, which is testable. All right. You don't just blindly make observations and say, well, I think this could be one of 27,000 different things.
Bob, let's try this.
Because
let's
I
try
just
this,
have
Bob.
an observation. That's all you have is an
I know.
observation.
Let's try.
I don't have
let's try
an
this approach.
observation. I have a question. I propose an
I heard
answer
you.
to it, and then I make a
I heard you.
prediction based on that proposed answer. Then I test
For the third
the
time.
answer.
I
Well,
heard you. Now
hopefully this
let's
will
try
be the
this.
charm one that you'll understand.
Let's try this approach, Bob. Let's try this for scientific method. Let's try this approach. Let's say that you want to find out what the boiling temperature of water is. Do you just decide, oh, the boiling temperature of water is 212. Let me do an experiment to see if it boils at 212. Is that how science works, Bob?
Absolutely not. You say, why does water
Exactly.
boil?
That's my point.
Why
Hold
does
on,
water
Bob.
boil?
Bob,
like
take
to hear
it easy.
Bob.
Stop.
Yeah,
I know it's
Bob is being
hot. I know it's hot, Jose.
Bob is
I know
being
you want a
blunt,
white knight for
yeah,
him,
Bob is
Jose.
being
It's
silent,
hot.
but I wish
know you want a
Bob
white
got
knight.
the same opportunity to
I
speak.
know you
but
want a white
I
knight
think
for him.
Slick is
know.
just want to
You
silence
want a
him.
white
It's
knight.
okay.
I got it. It's
Slick
hot,
Yeah,
doesn't
Jose. I know
appreciate
it's
real
hot.
information
You
to
need
God.
white knight. It's hot. It's hot, dude. I get it. Shit,
You know, the
dude,
more
I
you
bring
say
the
it's
heat. It
hot, the
gets
more
hot as hell.
laughable you are. Now, here's
Okay.
the way
Well, now-
science works, Slick.
Can I
If
get
you
back
can
to my
control
story about the
yourself-
boiling
No,
water?
it's Bob's
you
turn.
can
Yeah, we
control
need to listen to
yourself,
Bob.
So I
Slick.
can't get back. Okay, so in other words,
Control yourself,
I can't
Slick.
use that. I can't use
Now,
that boiling
In other
water.
way, you
Your
gotta stop
question-
interrupting Slick, please.
Oh my goodness, white
Your
knight.
question
White knight.
is, your question is, why does water boil? Your proposed answer is that you have to heat it to a certain temperature and it will boil. Now, your proposed test for that is to heat the water and measure the temperature and see if
The
it
hell are you
boils
talking
at
about?
a
Are you
consistent
even listening, Slick? Pay
temperature.
attention.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, didn't you pay attention? I think Bob can maybe
Slick, you
explain
really
it.
need
You
really
know,
need to
wait a
pay
minute.
take
attention,
Who is
your
this?
Slick.
time,
Who is
Bob.
this
I think
guy?
you need. I think I need a
Who
little
is
more
this
details,
guy?
Bob, because I
Bob.
miss a word. So can you please explain us again? Maybe Slick will listen
Bob,
this
you and
time
I,
and learn something.
you and I had a
Bob.
conversation.
Slick,
I didn't know that this
I
was a
think the
team.
water
Is this a
got
tag
sit down,
team
boy.
event?
the
Slick,
water
sit
got
down,
too
boy.
Is
hot.
this like a tag? Is this like a tag team event we got going here?
It's
What's
a
like?
free
What is this like?
conversation. The
What's
water
like
got
this?
too
Let the
hot.
adult speak. Slick, shut up.
What is like this WWE where you tag team and shit? Come on, man, sit
You
your
just
ass
have
down.
like this verbal diarrhea when you get cornered in
I
matches,
know.
don't you,
It's
Slick?
hot, Bob. It's hot, dude. I
It's
get
so
it.
Really?
hot,
Yeah,
man.
no, go put
It's
your ass
so
in the
The
cold
heat.
hot.
water. Slick, go
The
put your ass
heat.
in
Look
the
at
cold
the
water,
heat.
man.
All right. So
Boy, I bring the
let's
heat.
go ahead. Let's go ahead and
I
do
want to get back to
scientific
my.
method.
Listen,
Well,
I
no,
want to
your
get
method. You're
back to
done.
what I
You're
was
done with
talking
that.
about.
Slick,
Now
Oh,
let's
I'm
go
actually, you
ahead
done.
and use.
interrupted Bob.
So,
Slick, you
so
interrupted
you
Bob.
Let's
just
go
This is
get
ahead
to
and use
declare what
actual scientific
you
method.
mean to tell me that you
Let's
just
say,
declare that I'm done, like you like some
yeah, you
final
are. You're
judge or something?
dismissed.
You're done.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are.
ain't that
Slick,
something?
Now,
if
Okay,
it's
well,
so
I'm
hot,
not done. It's
now
hot, Bob. I
let's.
get it, man. I bring the
The
heat,
more you
dude.
say it's
Let's
hot,
talk
the
about the boiling water.
more sad you appear, Slick.
Right,
Now
I know.
let's
Let's
just
talk
say
about the
we
boiling
have.
water. I'm
Let's just
trying to
say that
teach
we
you
see
something, Bob.
things. Let's say that we see things off in the distance,
Let's talk. No,
and
forget the distance.
we're
We're back
going
to the
to.
boiling water. We haven't
We're
cleared that up
going
yet.
to. We're going to say our explanation for this is the Earth is flat. That's why we can see so far in the distance. Now, if the Earth is flat, there are certain things that I can predict from that. I can predict how large an object's going to be at 10 miles, for example. If I know it's 100 feet high and it's 10 miles away and the Earth is flat, I should be able to see how much, I know how much of that I should be able to see and how what its angular size could be. Well, I can actually sight that target and I can measure the angular size and see if it matches the predictions on a flat Earth. It either does or it doesn't. If it does, well, that's good evidence for a flat Earth. If it doesn't, that pretty much rules out the flat Earth, especially if it's been repeated a number of times. So the key to it is designing a test that will give you a yes or a no based on your theory. So if you have something to add to that now, Slick, we can go ahead and do that now.
Yes.
I'll let
Well,
you
I want to
talk.
ask Jose permission. Okay, Jose, do I have permission to ask Bob a question now? Thank
This
you,
is
Jose.
on G stream. This is not my
Now,
stream. I would like to answer that question, Slick. I would like to answer. You asked me a
here's the
question, Slick.
derailment. Here's
You
the
asked me a question,
derailment. Oh
Slick.
my
Will you allow me
gosh.
to speak? You asked me a
Here's the
question right now.
derailment.
So please allow me to answer
Okay,
the
Bob,
question.
here.
No. You Slick,
Go ahead,
ask
Jose.
me a question. Allow
I
me
said
to
go
answer the
ahead.
question. Do you not have
Go
to?
ahead.
Yeah, you asked the question. If you keep interrupting me, I'm gonna go back to zero.
Take your time.
All right, I will.
Start
Yeah,
at
all
zero.
right. Like you asked me a question. Yeah, the zero is you asked me a question, and I would like to answer it without interruptions. So you
Go
just
ahead.
asked me a question. No, all right. So you asked me a question, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer your question right now. All right. So
Okay,
the
go
answer.
ahead.
All right.
Go
So
ahead.
you asked me a question, and I would like to give you an answer to your question now. All right.
Okay,
So
go ahead. Go
so
ahead.
you asked me a question. Sorry, Shanji, but he's interrupting me, and I'm gonna go back to zero. So you asked me a
Slick,
question,
every
and I would
time
like
you
to answer
interrupt
your
him,
question.
he's gonna restart.
Just
All
let
right.
him let him
Okay, go
finish.
ahead.
Let him
Okay, go
finish,
ahead.
Slick.
So you asked me a question, Slick, and I would like to answer your question right now. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you asked me a question, and I would love to answer your question without interruption. So every time you say go ahead, I will go
Oh
from
my
zero again.
God.
And then now
Okay, go ahead.
So you asked me a question, and I would love to answer your question right now without interruption. If you interrupt me, I'm gonna go back to zero again. Now the answer
Okay,
will
go
be
ahead.
you ask me a question, and I would love to answer that question without interruption. I'm not gonna get tired. I mean, unless Chonji either stops Slick from interrupting, I'm not gonna stop this. He asked me a question, and I really would like to answer the question without interruptions, right? So
Well,
to
go
answer
ahead.
your question, yeah, you ask me a question, and I would love to answer your question without interruption. So to answer your question is, you ask me if I can
Go
give you
ahead.
permission to talk, and you don't have the permission to talk yet because you asked me a question, and I would love to answer your question without any interruptions. Every time you interrupt me, I'm gonna go to zero again. So to answer your question is, you ask me if I give you permission to talk. Maybe if you want to ask a question, go right ahead, Slick. Now, don't rumpus when you ask a question, don't rumpus the answer. Go ahead, Slick. You got my permission. Thank you.
Okay, Bob, here's the deal. Now, when you say, like, when you're making these determinations of what can happen and what could happen on a flat Earth, have you ruled out all of the variables, or are you just making this up in your head?
Well, that's part of the formulation of the answer to your question. You do include variables such as, for example, fog. Now, what would happen if fog occurred? Well, I couldn't make a test for it. What are the conditions that would allow me to get a good yes or no answer from my test? These are all things that go into formulation of your experiment.
Okay. Now, when I was trying to use the boiling water example, because that was a good example of an scientific method experiment. Now, when you're testing water to see its boiling point, you have all of your variables. You got your sea level, you got your level, so you got your air pressures, you got your amount of heat, you got your, all of these things. Now, when you're doing your flat Earth analysis, where are all your variables in a flat Earth? Because in order to know what can't happen on a flat Earth, you have to know what the variables of a flat Earth are. Where are you getting your variables for what a flat Earth is, sir?
Great question. Great question. So, what would you predict on a flat Earth, taking into account all the variables that you would think. What is a test that would be a yes or a no test of your
Well,
proposed answer that the Earth is flat? How would you be able to tell
well, here's the
it was
problem,
flat
Bob.
or it is
Sure.
not flat?
Here's the problem, Bob. In order for me to say what can or can't happen on a flat Earth, I would have to have a flat Earth to experiment on.
No, you wouldn't. You
No.
would have to be able
What do
to
you mean I wouldn't?
predict how a flat Earth, how the geometry of a
Right.
flat Earth would behave, and how sight would behave, and you would have to rely on things that were found by people before, such as the Raleigh criterion. What would your prediction be for a mountain, say 123 miles away, that's 10,000 feet high? How much of that mountain should you be able to see on a flat Earth through clear
Okay,
air?
Bob, could you find the boiling point of water without the water?
That has nothing to do with this question that I
Yes,
just
it
asked.
does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because the same thing goes with the Earth. You can't find out what goes on a flat Earth
Do you have
without
an
the
Earth?
flat Earth. That's how it.
Do you have
Okay,
an
now
Earth?
slow down, Bob. It's getting
Do
hot.
you have an
Slow
Earth?
down,
Answer
Bob.
the
Would you
question.
slow down?
Hang on,
I know you. I know
I got
you
a
want
question in
to.
that.
It's hot.
I
Go
got a
ahead,
question
John.
in that.
Go ahead.
Can't you actually find the boiling point of water by? It's gonna sound weird. Jiggling a water molecule.
Well, no, Sean.
Right,
What
but
he's
still,
trying to do,
but
what
Bob,
he's
but
trying
Sean,
to
that's still
stop,
my
Slick,
point.
Slick.
I know. I was answering
Enough.
Sean. I was answering
Enough.
Sean. What are you talking? Wait a minute, dude. Who you think
Now,
you're talking
Sean,
to? You ain't talking
guys,
to
guys,
no
guys,
kid, dude.
Hang on. You both
What
can
is
answer the
your
question,
problem?
but hang on.
Sean,
So
I'm about
guys,
to get in his
Actually,
ass.
Sean,
hang on,
Sean, I'd like to
You're
answer
just
your
adding to
question
it.
for you,
Huh?
Sean.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've got an answer that can do it without you actually witnessing the boiling water. It's called an all-in-one CPU cooler. What you can do is watch when it gets to a particular temperature and use those measurements and then test it against water molecules.
Ah.
So you have to have the
in all
water then,
honesty,
right?
that's actually not a very good analogy. I mean, it's a good
No,
analogy
but you
for what you're
can't
talking
see
about.
the water.
Yeah, no, I
to get
agree
those
with you that
temperature
that's a good
variances.
analogy, but the entire question's malformed, and here's
Mm.
why.
Okay.
According to James, he says that he cannot test a flat Earth unless he has a flat Earth. What I'm saying is that in science, you test the Earth to see if it's flat. That's the difference between science and whatever nonsense he's trying to do.
I actually
I
agree
don't
with
know what the
I,
shape of the Earth is. I'm trying to predict that the Earth is flat. And if I am right, there are certain things that will occur on that flat Earth. If I am wrong, other things will occur.
I actually agree with that in the sense of this. For me, and I've said this before, I feel that presupposing the globe is okay. Why? Because for someone like myself who understands it's not flat, and this is my opinion, and the things that I understand give me a certain level of understanding. Obviously, I can fact check these observations that everyone does. Dr. Bob, Big Blue, Jose, anybody who proposes an observation, and I can fact check those things against my presupposed globe, and that doesn't change anything. A presupposed idea is a hypothesis.
Yeah. Now, say I have a cube of iron, and I look up the atomic mass of iron, the atomic weight of iron, and I can measure the sides of that cube and determine exactly how big that iron is. Now, if my understanding of the density of iron is correct, I should be able to predict the weight of that cube. So I can make a prediction based on my understanding of the known density of iron. Then I can test that prediction by actually weighing the iron block. All right. It isn't a question of, well, how do you know it's iron? It isn't a question of, well, let's do it with an aluminum block and then, and then try and extrapolate it. If this block is made of iron and I can find the density of iron and I can estimate or measure the volume of that iron block, I should be able to predict the weight of it. Then I can test that prediction. That's the difference. I don't know how much the thing weighs. I'm making a prediction and I'm testing that prediction. That's science.
Right. Well, like I said, that's not the science that I understand. But if that's your way,
It's
you have to
because you
do
don't
what works.
understand science.
Okay. Well, listen, dude. I just listened to you, and I waited all the way till you finished. Didn't say a word. I say 3 words, and now you want to interrupt. Now, come on, man. What's the problem? Now,
Well,
you
the problem is
let
you
me
don't
say
understand what
I know,
science
but
is.
why don't you let me say a few words, Bob, instead of you just cutting me off? Unless you're afraid. If you're afraid, I understand. I mean, if you need to shut me down because you're scared to hear what I have to say, I get it. Now, I'm going to say my little
I'm
piece
just
here.
going to
I'm
sit
going
down
to
and
say
have
my,
some
yeah,
amusement.
thank you, have some amusement. Now, this is the way I view science, and that's why I was trying to use the boiling water as an example. Because if you want to know the boiling thing of water, you don't decide before you do anything whatsoever. You don't need to decide what the water is going to boil at. There's no point in that. There's no point in saying, okay, I think the water is going to boil at such and such a degrees, and if it does boil at that degrees, then I've accomplished something. No, that's not how science works. You say, okay, I want to find out the boiling point of water, and then you use all of your variables, your control variables, and you conduct an experiment, and then you find out the boiling point of water. Now, when it comes
Whoever
to your,
said that I was going to predict the
was I
boiling
done?
point
Was
of the
I
water?
done? Was I done?
No, you were just going off into
I
the straw
wasn't
man,
done.
and I'm
I
bringing
wasn't
you
done.
back.
I wasn't even finished. I was
I just
about
said
to go on.
I just said water
Are
had to
you
be heated.
afraid, Bob? Are you scared?
No, I'm
Because
just
I
keeping
didn't
you
interrupt
focused.
you. But I didn't
I'm keeping you
interrupt you.
focused.
I don't need you to keep me focused. I wasn't.
Apparently
That
you
didn't
do.
bother you. Apparently you're scared because you feel the need to interrupt. Like you
Do I
need to
sound
stop.
scared of you?
Well, you for some reason, Bob, you need to stop me from saying this. For some reason, what's the problem?
The problem
Now,
is you're creating a straw man on
don't
something that I
worry
didn't
about it.
say.
Well, don't worry about it. Just chill out. I didn't
I'm
even.
not letting you do it.
Dude, I'm not even talking about
My
what you said. I'm talking about what I said. I'm not
proposed
talking about you.
experiment was
Bob,
that water
I'm not
boils
talking
when it
about
gets
you.
hot. I have to
Bob.
measure that to see
Oh
if
my
indeed
goodness.
it does need to get
Jose,
hot
would you
in order
stop
to
him,
boil,
please?
and then at what temperature.
Jose, could you stop Bob, please? Because he's just running off and he's interrupting me. Okay, Bob, I
You
wasn't
need to
talking
stop.
about you. Bob, I'm talking about my idea of what science is. I'm not even thinking about you right now, so I don't need you to interrupt. Now I got to find my place. I got to do a Jose now and start over. Now, when it comes to finding out the boiling temperature of water, you take all of your variables, your control variables, your independent variables, your dependent variables, and you conduct an experiment to find out the boiling point of water. Now, that's the
How do you
same
know
thing.
all the variables?
That's the same thing. Excuse me?
How do you know all the variables?
What do you mean, how do you know all of the variables?
Can you ever know every single variable?
Okay, well, you know the variables that you have available.
Okay, and in order to do that, how do you determine which ones are important?
By conducting experiments. That's what you do with. Okay, listen, Bob. Do you want to answer for me? Ask me a question and answer for me, or let me answer. You're scared, Bob. This is fear.
I just don't. I'm trying
fear.
to keep
Bob,
you focused.
it's fear. It's fear.
No, I'm
Don't
just
give me
keeping
that
you focused,
focus
kiddo.
bullshit.
I object.
This
I
ain't nothing but
object.
some fear shit.
There's no fear in here.
It's
There's
fear.
people uneducated that do not want to learn, but there's no fear in here.
Oh, shut the hell up. This is nothing but fear. You're scared.
There is
You're
no
scared
fear,
to hear
Slick.
this.
No one's afraid of you.
You're afraid, dude. It's
Let's
hot,
take
dude.
a
I
quick
told
vote.
you.
How
Listen,
many people think
dude,
that I'm afraid
I
of Slick?
turn up the heat on your ass. I'm telling you, man. I get it.
I'm gonna turn the heat up on you for a minute,
The
Slick. Okay?
heat up is on
So
your ass.
what
Oh, so
is
now you want to
no,
take?
Slick?
Okay, so
listen,
now you're gonna
listen to
take
this.
over my
Hang on.
conversation.
What is
Okay, so
the
you're gonna take
independent
over my
variable
conversation
of an
now?
observation? What is the
So you're gonna
independent
take
variable?
over my. So
Of
you're gonna
course I
take
am,
over my
and I'm going to do a
conversation now.
Jose. I can repeat it over and over and over again
So
if you
you
keep
scared
interrupting.
too? Okay, so you
Why
scared
the
too?
fuck am I scared? Do I sound like I'm shaking, you dumb
Yeah,
fuck?
because I was making a point and I never got to finish what I was saying, and I'm
Well,
trying
then
to
get
figure
on
out
with
what
it,
happened.
Stopped because you were
So
wrong.
how did I never get to finish my?
Hannah.
What
Oh,
happened?
Get on with it.
John's
Hannah.
here.
Hannah. Ah, damn it. Did I really just do that?
You
biggest
can't
problem.
concentrate, can you?
The way that you
That's why you
find
take
out.
notes, Slick.
Oh, hold!
Okay.
I got to start over.
All right, okay, guys.
No.
I accidentally
Okay.
kicked myself. How, I don't know. But I just wanted to say, hey, Hannah, what happened?
What?
Huh?
What do you mean?
Well, I left the computer, and before I left, I gave everyone explicit orders that you were in charge, and that if anything happened, it was on you.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But you were typing in the chat, though.
What chat?
Our
Which
chat,
one?
in here, in the meetup.
Oh, yeah, look at that. You did make me in charge. Oops. I was in the outside chat, chatting.
I made a prediction. I say it's your fault, Hannah, before it even happened.
Ah, what's my fault? That Slick and Bob are going at each other? Nah.
I don't know.
I'm with you, Hannah.
Actually, I just
You
came
did
in.
well.
Actually, what happened is I came in and I heard Davros cussing up a storm.
Hey, that's how
Yeah, but
I,
I think
how I roll,
they're
Sean.
trying to-
Yeah, I think something
They're
good can
trying to
happen if we
silence
hear
me.
Davros
Something
have a
about
little combo
boiling
with Slick.
water,
It could be
boiling
really
water,
good.
and
So,
boiling
Slick,
water.
you want to try and formulate this experiment again? I can't wait
Well,
to
like
see
I
it.
said, I was trying to do
Go
it, but you
for it,
guys
man.
kept cutting me off.
Go
Okay, I'm gonna
for
try
it.
one more time. Now, what happens is when you want to discover something, like an example, like, water, what temperature it boils at. What you do is that you set up an experiment and you use your independent variables, your control variables, your dependent variables, and you conduct an experiment to find out the temperature, and that's how you find out. Now, that's the same thing that happens when it comes to basically the Earth. You put your variables together, and you conduct an experiment to see what results that you come out with.
Yep. And you compare it against what you would predict based on your
Right, but
hypothesis.
but at the same time, you can't just have one prediction. In other words, you have to rule out all of the possibilities. In other words, if there's 5 possibilities of something, you can't just say, well, I got this possibility, so this is the one that I'm going with, and I'm ruling out all the rest. See, that's just some old dictatorship type science shit there.
That's funny, Slick. All right,
Yeah, I know it is.
So what you do is you have your proposed explanation, and you use that to make predictions. Now, when you design your experiment,
oh my God,
you design it specifically to exclude other possibilities so that you're testing your hypothesis directly. Okay? Now, and then obviously there are other things that you do. For example, you repeat it. How long Cavendish measured the gravitational constant, or what turned out to be the gravitational constant, for well over a year. Multiple measurements until he was confident enough in his results to be able to release his findings. A lot of people in the flat earth seem to think that, you do one observation and that's your answer. That's not the way it is. You do thousands of observations. Do you think Al-Biruni measured the radius of the Earth based on one determination? Of course not. All right. And how many times has it been repeated since then? That's how science is done. You make a prediction, you test that prediction. You predict that something is, ether exists and there's an ether wind. Michelson Morley designed and conducted an experiment to specifically test for the presence of a proposed theory, which was ether, something that was never measured, never collected, never observed, but proposed to answer how light propagated. Okay? They tested it. It failed the test. Now, when Einstein came out to replace it, he made a prediction and compared it to something that Newton would predict, and that was the bending of light around the sun. So in 1919, Eddington went out and actually tested it. Einstein predicted that it would change by this number of arc seconds. Newton predicted it would change by this number of arc seconds. They actually tested it and measured how many arc seconds it changed. Guess who won? Einstein did. Einstein was correct and nailed it. Newton was incorrect. That was the first confirmation, the first bit of evidence that confirmed the theory of relativity.
Okay,
that is how you design an experiment.
Okay, can I rebut now? Okay.
We really don't have a rebuttal. But go ahead.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Now, that's very good, and that all sounds very wonderful. So let's use that in our Big Bang cosmology. Let's check that out and see how your science and how your predictions worked in that. So what happened? Somebody had an idea that there was a singularity of an infinitely dense material that expanded in a Planck time, and expanded into the universe. Now, how did you fact check this to make sure that you knew what you were talking about? What did you use to fact check?
Well, the first question that they asked is, why are galaxies moving away from each other? Okay. And then they calculated calculated the movement, and then they made some predictions. For example, the microwave background radiation. I mean, it was a long, evolved process, and it's not something that I'm intimately familiar with.
I have a clarity question. How long does it take to see, how much time does it take to see any movement of a galaxy?
What do you mean, see movement of a galaxy?
In other words,
you know what redshifting is?
Hold on. Yes, I'm asking you, how long does it take to see any movement? In other words, from one point to another, how long does it take for a galaxy to move from point A to point B?
Well, it's not my field, but if you look at the galaxy and the light from that galaxy is redshifted, and you look for certain trace elements, I think it's hydrogen is one of the things they look for.
I understand it, but that's not my question.
You guys out there that know
not
this
my
better
question.
than I do, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong.
Somebody.
But you look for the red shift.
But that's not my question. I'm not asking you that.
Thing.
That is not my question. My question is, how long does it take for this galaxy to move? In other words, it could appear to be still. It takes some time to observe movement. How long this movement?
Okay, now red shifting means,
in other words, I'm asking, is this, I know what red shift means. Is this over
me.
Because I know what redshift means. I don't need you to take me through that. I'm asking you how long. Like, can you see movement within days, years, weeks? How long?
Slick, we don't have any subject matter experts in that particular area sitting here on this panel tonight. Okay.
Okay. Well, then tell Bob to stop talking about it then, because you don't know what he's talking about.
We can talk about it. It's just we can't get to a certain level of
exactly,
detail.
Right. Exactly. So there's no point in him going on with his explanation, because that's a very important question that I'm asking. If you don't know the answer, then there's no point. You don't get it. Listen, let me tell you something.
Hang on. I can actually answer that in a sense.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And Blue and Dr. Bob, please correct me if any kind of wrong. Over the time since we've started observing the stars in different galaxies, we have seen changes in certain stars in their shift. Typically, or even more so, in the early 90s when Hubble came out. Hubble gave us a more of an accurate measurement of these stars in their light, the light frequency that we were getting back.
Now, the red shift is actually more like a Doppler.
That wasn't my question.
Stop interrupting me, Slick.
But it wasn't my question.
Hang on.
Man, we can be done. You think I give a damn?
Hang on, Slick.
He acts like I care.
Slick. I want him to answer my question, because the way I understand what you guys are talking about is that, and if I'm wrong, I kind of want to understand it so I can still be in this conversation.
Sean, he either has to be on mute, because if he interrupts me again, we're done.
You're good.
Oh man, listen, man, get out of here.
No, Slick. Hang on. For me, please. But Dr. Bob, don't address him anymore, and just talk to me.
All right, now Sean, with red shifting, that's kind of like a Doppler effect.
Mm-hmm.
And as the star is moving away, the light from that star is red shifted. So when you measure the red shift, it means it's actively moving right then.
Okay.
Now the other thing that we have is that we have sky surveys that occurred around 1900 to 1920, and the Vatican was one of about 10 different observatories that actually mapped precisely the position of every star that was visible. We can compare those maps to modern maps and see movement in those stars. And some stars actually no longer are visible because they've moved out of our visual horizon.
Yeah. Actually, Lewis a while ago showed a link of a picture. Like, you can put it in like your birth date and then today's date, and it will show you the position of the stars like over that time. So I see what you're saying on that.
Yeah, and the precession of the stars is clearly measurable and documented. I mean, we can actually see it.
I mean, anyone can start doing that to this day too.
Sean, do you remember the conversation we had about the missing
Sean,
stars a couple of months ago?
Yeah, that's exactly it right there.
Sean, can I
I
make a
actually
point
have
at
a
some point here?
clarifying. I actually have a clarifying question. So the redshift.
This is where I get freezed out.
So the Doppler effect is
No,
kind of a momentary. You can check it instantaneously. It doesn't take any duration of time.
Okay.
That's
okay.
the point
I
I'm
see.
making. The
Well, this
redshift
is what-
shows current movement that's actively going on right now. It doesn't
Sean, let me
require
know when
a yes or no. I will let
Okay.
you know when you're ready.
No,
Thank you.
Now,
Sean, hang on, Dr. Bob. Hang on, Dr. Bob.
Time to measure it. So all you have to do is just see the redshift. You know the star's moving.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Now you can go ahead, Slick, if you want.
Go ahead, Slick.
Now, here's the situation. Because these stars that we're talking about moving, but these stars they're talking about are like light years in distance away. Now, my question is, how much movement do you have to see over what period of time to detect that there is movement? That is a very important question.
I think I see what he's saying, Dr. Bob. He's saying,
I think I've already answered it.
How do we know the red is movement rather than why are we seeing a progression in the movement?
No, you're seeing active movement. That's why.
Okay.
In other words, that's the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Sean, let me give you an example. Sean, let me give you an example.
Go ahead,
Sean, let me have the floor for 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead, Slick.
This is what I'm saying. Doppler effect can be seen on the ground here on Earth. Like if an ambulance is coming, you can hear the sound pitch like go up and down depending on if the ambulance is coming towards you or away from you. But you have to have movement of the ambulance in order to get that shift. In other words, if the ambulance is still, you can't tell if it's red shift or blue shift because it's not moving.
Okay.
So my point is, in order to get red shift or blue shift, you have to have movement. So I'm asking, how much movement are you measuring? How much movement are you measuring of the star?
Okay.
And that's what I'm asking.
Let me see if I can do a layman term and then correct me and then detail it, Dr. Bob. For instance, in the example you gave with the sirens, I would think that if we know the frequency of that siren, when we hear that siren, we would know the distance of that siren.
Right, but Sean, the point that I'm trying to make is that the truck has to be moving. The truck can't be still. Is my point.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Do you want me to answer it or not?
Yeah, I definitely do.
All right. Now, Sean is actually onto something that's exactly right. If you know the frequency of the ambulance siren, and remember, an ambulance wobbles, but say it's a solid, steady tone, okay? Now, if the ambulance is sitting still and you're still in relationship to the ambulance, you will hear that tone. Yeah, agreed?
I already know this part, so you can just tell this to somebody else.
No. He's telling me. He's telling me. It's all. Yeah, keep going.
Now, does that make sense to you, Sean?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as the ambulance is, say, moving away from you, you understand that there will be a Doppler shift with it, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's okay.
That makes sense, right?
Yes, 100%.
Now, by measuring the amount of the Doppler shift, or by measuring the frequency that you hear and comparing it to the actual frequency of the siren, you should be able to determine the speed it's moving away from, right?
Okay. I'm seeing.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So by measuring the redshift of galaxies, we can tell instantaneously how far or how fast they're moving away from us. Okay?
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
It does. Yeah. It's kind of
the cutting edge of my knowledge on that.
It's not like okay. I see exactly.
And this is where it gets tough, Sean. This gets the hard part. See, now when you're doing the Doppler effect with a siren that's in front of you, see, that's very close. It's like right there. You see this truck moving right past you, and it's right there. Now these galaxies that they're talking about are like light years and many, many miles away. So that movement is going to be much harder to detect, and it's going to take a much long period of time.
Oh, yeah.
Now you know that this, Sean. You know that this Sean, do you know that this redshift they're talking about happens over millions of years?
The reason, Dr. Bot, perspective.
perspective.
The same way a car moving past you at 100 miles an hour and a car moving past you at 100 miles an hour, 10 miles away, vice versa, continuous on.
Does perspective change the frequency of the light?
Nope, not at all.
Okay,
I was just saying.
Ridiculous.
Sure. I just have to correct something. It doesn't take millions of years for that redshift to happen.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. How long?
It can happen within less than a day.
I see what he's saying. He's saying, is there a situation where a star is what is it? What's the green? Is green the next one or is it blue? I'm sorry. I know there's the step before redshift.
Well, Sean, here's the problem. Here's the problem that we're running into, and it's the classic flat Earth problem. It's a long ways away, so how can we possibly measure it?
Not what I'm saying at all.
No. I think what he's saying, because what I think he's trying to say is there a situation where we see it turn into a redshift? Is that right, Blue or Slick? I mean, is that right?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, right, Sean. This is what I'm saying. In other words, you're talking about these stars are very long way away.
Yeah.
So in order to detect movement, you have to see a certain amount of movement to know that it is moving. And what I'm asking is over what period of time does it take to measure any movement at all? And that's what I'm asking.
Okay, here's the thing, Slick. All right, so imagine a big flashlight in your face so you can't see, we'll say we can't see the person holding it, for instance. And this is a really bright flashlight for the sake of the argument. The flashlight, the stars aren't moving horizontal to us where you would think you'd see distance. They're moving away from us. And with a car moving away from us or a plane moving away from us, we can still judge the or an ambulance moving away from us. The ambulance doesn't have to pass by us horizontally. It can pass by us straight away.
I understand.
Well, here's the problem, Sean. Here's the problem.
That's not even what I'm saying. I understand that perfectly. That's not the problem.
Sean. He doesn't understand that even though the stars are very far away, all we need is to know what the frequency is. As soon as we can get a frequency, we have our answer. We don't need to monitor.
Hang on.
So, yes, you do, Bob, because it's the change. Hold on, Sean, 1 second.
Hang on,
it's a change of frequency. It's a change of frequency.
Hang on, because I want to ask this question because I think it will clarify things. Dr. Bob, if we took a picture of the space in one direction, and so we got every individual star in this picture, and we decided that we're going to illustrate each frequency that is received from each star. Are we going to see 7, 8, 35, 7? You know what I mean? Different numbers.
Yep.
Okay, then yes, and that makes sense. Oh my goodness. I get what he's saying.
Okay, well, this is what
let's leak.
But I can tell you what this is what you're missing, Sean. This is the thing that's very important. It takes time in order to detect a frequency change. You understand what I'm saying when I say that?
So this is a perfect example.
You got to let me finish, Sean.
If an ambulance at a stop sign turns its siren on and you hear it, do you have a guesstimate of how far away it is?
No, Sean, you're missing my point.
Right,
if you listen to me, let me make the point so that you can understand.
If you let Slick control the show, you will understand, Sean.
Sean, this is the point that I'm trying to make. In order to detect a frequency change, you have to have movement. You have to have a certain amount of movement in order to detect a change.
Okay.
There's a part two. I'm not finished yet.
I know, but I got to do this. I have to do this while this. Guys, everyone stop. I got to do this while the question's fresh. Okay, Big Blue. Can we detect a change in frequency, or do we know the frequency that's received that tells us the difference?
You're only looking at the wavelengths of light that are being received, and it's not just the red thing that shifts. The entire spectrum of light coming from that star is either shifted to the red side, not shifted at all, or shifted to the blue side, and that's instantaneous. You don't need to wait to see something happen. All you've got to do is look at which direction the light spectrum has been shifted. That's it. You're not waiting. You're not standing on the side of the road waiting for the fucking ambulance to come whizzing past you, Slick. All you got to do is measure the instantaneous shift in the light spectrum coming from it. That's all you got to know.
Like I said, I'm trying to explain this to you, but you got to let me explain it because you're missing what I'm saying. Now, this is what my point is. Damn, this is what I'm saying, Sean. No, you're okay, but this is what I'm saying.
Slick,
In other words,
tell me that you
dude, would you just chill out a minute?
Slick,
I don't want to hear
Slick. No, I do. So Slick, I'm gonna monitor everything. I want to hear it. Slick, go ahead.
Thank you. All right. In order to detect a frequency change, you have to have movement. You cannot get a frequency change from something that is standing still. Now,
Yes, you can.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Blue.
Yes,
you can.
Okay, everyone stop. Blue, can you
You
explain?
didn't understand.
Yeah,
you
Blue,
didn't
explain.
understand what.
Can you
didn't
explain
understand
how?
what Sean? Yeah, you didn't understand what Sean was trying to tell you, or Bob was trying to tell you a while ago. If you know what the frequency of light should be, if that star is stationary, and we do know that if it's not moving with respect to us, we know what that light frequency spectrum should be. Just like we know what frequency the siren on the ambulance is if it's sitting still. If it's coming toward me, I'm going to hear instantaneously a higher frequency. If that star is moving toward me, I'm going to see the light shifted to the blue end of the spectrum instantaneously. I don't need to wait for it to do anything. It's already done it. It's doing it.
Right, but you just contradicted yourself, Blue, because my
No, I
point
didn't.
was you did. I just said that you have to have
what
movement.
we've been telling you for the
Blue,
last
didn't you
20
hear me
minutes,
say
Slick.
that you have to have movement? You said no, you don't.
No, it is already moving.
I know, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And when I said that, you said no, it doesn't have to be moving.
Can I try to clarify this?
You are waiting for it to change.
This.
When somebody plays this back, you'll hear you say plain as day, you do not have to have movement. And you do.
And Slick, when other people play this back, they're going to hear you not understanding anything that has been said to you in the last hour.
Of course.
No,
I think
look, listen,
I think I have a
listen.
good analogy to explain this.
Yeah.
So Slick's. I think what Slick is trying to say, if we have a ambulance moving away from us, we only hear that frequency of signal. So how do we know it's changed? So all we get is the baseline of that frequency, and then it has to change from that to something else that we know that something happened. But here's the problem: we already have the waveform of the signal that the ambulance makes on our hard drive, so we can compare against that, and we can see, okay, it's moving because it's different from that, and that's actually a perfect analogy of us, because we know the waveforms that the stars emit, and we can compare to that baseline.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay, well, then my clarification failed in that part.
That's okay. Like I said, see, it's all about the movement. In other words, in order to have a Doppler, you have to have movement. You have to have point A to point B. And then what you do is detect the change in frequency to decide whether this is coming towards you or away from you. That's what I'm saying. That's what Doppler is. But you can't get Doppler from a still object.
I will try and explain this to you one last time, Slick.
You can explain it to somebody else, because I already know what's going on.
Then he's explaining to me. Then he's explaining to me.
All right,
so go ahead.
Explain it to Sean.
If you are on, and if you're in the cockpit of a jetliner or sitting in the passenger compartment of a jetliner, correct?
Okay.
Your plane is moving at 550 miles an hour, right?
Correct.
How long do you have to measure that movement in order to determine it's moving at 550 miles an hour? Can you read the airspeed indicator right now?
If you can read the airspeed indicator, then you don't need to.
Correct. There isn't a period of time that you need to do it. So if you know, say, the frequency of light that a hydrogen atom emits when it's excited, that is a very well-known frequency of light. If you see hydrogen atoms that are redshifted coming from a galaxy, you know that one, the galaxy is moving away from you, and two, you can actually calculate how fast it's moving away from you. If it's blue shifted, it's coming towards you, and you can measure how much. You don't need to hear the change in pitch as it goes whistling by you. It's a point measurement that gives you your answer. Now, I can't explain it any clearer than that.
I got two sentences to say. Only two sentences to say. First, that was one. So if you guys don't allow Slick to monologue, he is not going to be able to control the show. Therefore, he's not going to get to the crescendo and his actual main meme, which is you just making shit up. So we got to allow Slick to monologue, control the show so he can get to the point and tell us that we're making shit up. Thank you. That's all.
Okay.
I had a
Anyway,
clarifying
I was
question.
now hold on, Lori, hold on, because like I said, you're still missing the point. I understand how Doppler works. The point that I'm trying to make is you have to measure movement. There has to be a point A to point B. You cannot get a Doppler with just an item standing still, because all you will get is
And my
one pitch.
clarifying question
Hold
would
on,
be-
Lori, just hang in there. So the thing that I'm trying to say is that you have to have movement. Now, when something is very close to you, that distance doesn't have to be far because it's right in front of you. But when it's something like a star that's a long, long far away, but you have to have a significant amount of movement to detect the change. And what I am asking you is how long, over what period of time is that star moving for you to detect the change? And that's what you can't answer.
Instantaneously. Instantaneously is the answer.
Instantaneous. You cannot listen. You're talking about time travel.
No, we're not talking about
No,
time
just stop.
I'm
Slick,
talking
just
about
stop.
your inability to understand this, Slick.
All right, hang on, guys.
Don't you
All right,
understand?
everyone, I
Guys,
got to read the super chat, so everyone can calm down while I do this. Thank you, Anamorphic Minds. Do appreciate it. He says, why is Slick so afraid and triggered by Bob's facts?
So,
because he doesn't have any, and it makes him feel uncomfortable. Now, I'm pretty
so
well done with Slick.
can I ask my clarifying question?
Yeah, go ahead,
my clarifying question is simply this: if we have an object moving away from us, there's a Doppler shift one way. If we have it moving towards us, there's a Doppler shift another way.
Right, that's blue
and if
and
we
red
have
shift.
it, if we have it still, there's no shift whatsoever, and we know it's and we know it's still because there was no shift. So, is there any problem? Bob the science guy, is there any problem with that?
No.
Slick, let me
None at
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. You say you know how Doppler radar works. Tell me how it works.
Yes, like I said, using the ambulance siren as an example, you hear a frequency. Okay, you can tell whether that frequency is moving away from you or towards you, depending on whether the shift pitch goes up or down. I think if it moves away from you, the pitch goes down. If it comes towards you, the pitch goes up. That's how Doppler works.
Let me tell you how Doppler radar works, Slick. Well, you send out
I didn't
a Doppler,
say radar. I said the siren. I said the siren.
We're talking about light, which is closer to radar than it is to sound. Okay, so let's use Doppler radar, and I can tell you how that operates.
Okay, but was I correct?
The Doppler, no,
was I correct?
You're partially correct, but let me explain to you why this is
correct.
Yes, let me explain to you, Slick, if you don't mind. Why?
Well, I was all the way correct, so I just wanted to clear that up. I wasn't partially correct.
You triggered?
All right.
You triggered?
I was all the way correct.
Yeah, I don't want to get you too triggered. But
I'm the one that's bringing the heat, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I
don't
triggered. Think you are. I think I'm the one bringing the heat right now. Bud.
Oh,
now, listen,
okay.
If I shoot a radar beam at a target, the Doppler shift that's measured is the return that comes back to me. It's instantaneous. Whatever comes back to me, I only have to shoot one little beep at that thing, and what comes back tells me exactly how fast the target is moving. You don't have to wait for the target to move. The return signal immediately, instantaneously tells you how fast it's moving and in which direction.
Yeah,
you got it?
Sound right, but that don't sound right.
Well, I'm sorry if it don't, but it is right.
Well, okay, hang in there. Okay, well, I hear you, but just hang in there, because now you're talking about like shooting a radar at a moving target, right? That target has.
Yep. The target doesn't have all the target has to be doing is moving. It doesn't have to move any distance. It only has to be moving. The star only has to be moving. We see the shift in the frequency of light, just like we see the shift in the frequency of the radar signal coming back to us. It's instantaneous.
Okay. So what happens if we don't see any shift?
You don't see any shift. There's no relative movement. It may be going lateral to you or something, but it's not moving toward you or away from you.
Okay, so Blue, let me ask you a question.
In other words, So in other words, 0 is just the special instance of it's not moving. So even when we see no shift, we know what's going on. So
Can I
there's
ask
no
Blue
problem.
a question?
Right,
Can I
right.
Blue? Can I put you to the heat for a quick second? Now,
Go
are
ahead.
you saying okay? So let's take a start at 6 light years.
Later.
Let's take a thank you. Good night. Let's take a start at 6 light years away. So are you telling me that you shoot your laser and you get your return, and that's how you tell it's moving?
No, we're not shooting anything at the star.
Okay, well then
Slick.
let's not use that as an example, then, sir.
I'm
Thank
telling
you.
you. I'm telling you why you don't understand Doppler.
I know, but listen, I understood your
Okay.
point. Now I'm asking you, can you use that same analogy and point at a star 6
Yeah.
light years away and
Yes.
instantaneously get redshift? You
Yes.
can.
No,
Okay.
just a minute, Slick.
I
Don't
said, okay,
stop,
take it easy. I
stop
know
playing
it's
that
hot.
game.
It's
Just be
hot.
careful. Slow it down. You're okay.
It's hot.
You'll be
It's hot.
fine. Trust
It's
me.
hot.
Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up. It'll all
Dude, it's
feel
hot.
better.
I
know.
bring the heat,
You'll
dude. I
feel
know
better
how it
tomorrow.
is.
You'll
I know how
just
it
put
is.
just smear a little salve on it. It'll be okay tomorrow.
It's
Trust me,
hot,
Slick.
Blue. Go ahead.
I know
Blue.
I know it's tough for you, but that's the way it goes.
I hear you. Dude.
Now
Go ahead.
you don't have to shoot anything at the star. The star's shooting stuff at you. It's already doing it, and we know the frequency that we should be seeing. If we're seeing a lower frequency, it's moving away from us. If we see a higher frequency from it, it's moving. Higher frequency is moving toward us.
You're confused. Yeah, like I
No, I
said,
had
Blue,
to stop and think what I said to begin with, but okay.
Right, but what you're saying doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because you're trying to talk through this real fast. But come on, man, you're looking
Well,
at let's just slow down,
sense.
Blue. Okay, well let's just slow it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say so you're looking at a star and you are getting a light reading, right?
Yeah, we can see all of the frequencies of light coming.
Okay, so you see, so now in that reading, can you tell from that reading which direction that star is moving, either towards you or from you? From that one reading?
Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
So in a light reading, you can detect movement from light.
Yeah, we can tell which way it's moving, whether it's moving toward us or away from us. Yeah.
But this is why I'm confused, Blue. And when I'm understanding of Doppler, I know that there has to be A to B movement in order to.
No, it doesn't. That's where you're wrong, Slick. Stop right there. It does not. You do not have to see movement. No, you do not.
Okay, let me ask you this, Blue. Let me ask you this. What if an item is still not moving at all? Now, aren't you going to get a light reading from that item when you shine your whatever on it?
Are we talking about radar now?
Like a star. Let's take a star. Let's say the star is not moving at all and it's still. Now, aren't you going to get a reading of light from that star?
Sure.
Okay. So now, how do you know that the reading that you're getting is not a still movement?
Because
in other words, not like it's still. How do you know it's not still?
As Bob said, we know what the frequencies of the light should be if it's not moving. And when it shifts one way or the other, we know which way it's moving.
Okay, but this is the thing, Bob. I mean, Blue, and this is where I'm having a problem. How do you know the difference between the frequency of the light when it's still versus the frequency of light when it's moving if you only got one shot?
Slick, it's fundamental to the nature of elements.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the nature of elements. I'm talking about stillness versus motion.
The light produced by every element has characteristics that are unchanging throughout the universe.
Okay, so how can you tell from the light whether something is still or moving?
By which way the light is shifted, by which direction the shift occurs, if there is any shift.
But if it's not moving at all, then how do you know that there's a shift or not?
Well, if it's not moving at all, you'll get the characteristics of those elements that we know are present that matches up with something that's not moving, Slick.
Okay, so let me see if I got you right. This is what you're saying. When you get a reading from a star, if that star is still, it has characteristics of the light that you can read and understand. And what you're saying is that if a star is moving away from you, that will give you characteristics of light that you can read and understand. And if it's coming towards you, it gives off characteristics of light that you can understand. So you're saying that it's the characteristics of the light that determines whether something is still moving towards you or away from you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think Bob was right. I think hydrogen is what they use. Again, I'll say what I said to begin with. You don't have any subject matter true experts sitting here tonight. If you want to get into the deep nitty gritty shit, then we'll have to get somebody else for you to talk to, Slick.
Okay, that's cool.
But I'm giving you the basics of it.
Right, but do you understand my position? Right, but my point is I am trying to get into the nitty gritty of it, because those are where my questions lie. So that's what I'm saying. This conversation may need some more investigation. That's why, it's not a win-lose thing. It's just a conversation we're going to have to continue later.
Actually, what could happen?
Hold on.
There you go.
Talk about that.
Go ahead. Let's talk about what is this.
Well, if we know what every different frequency of the light spectrum looks like when it's at rest, and we know what it looks like when it's moving, then we can compare it by previous experiences with light and measurement. Therefore, we can tell whether a source of a light is moving or not, Slick.
Okay, I'm looking at this picture here.
So
is the one in the middle is still one?
At rest, yeah. So, and you can see the difference in between moving away from you or moving towards you. So if we can experiment here locally by detecting all the different spectrums of the light and by seeing their behavior, because different frequencies have different speeds at times, then we can tell.
You see the absorption lines on there? You see the black
I see them. But now here's a question that I have.
Well, no, those lines are lines. Those are absorption lines, and they are specific to elements. Okay, you know what they are. Good.
I said I understand it, but I have a question. Is that okay?
Then you should understand completely why what I'm saying is correct. This is all you need. You need that picture.
Damn.
If you see the bottom picture, the thing is moving away from you. If you see the top picture, it's moving towards you. If you see the one in the middle, it's not moving toward you or away from you. It could be moving side to side. But we don't have a way to detect that. Got it now?
I said I got it. I've been had it. I'm trying to ask another question, if you don't mind. Now, what I would like to ask the question is the difference in time that it takes to get as much movement as you need to get that reading between like the top one and the middle one. How much time has to elapse?
Instantaneously.
Okay, so are you okay? But hold on, Blue. This is what I'm saying. In other words, to have movement happens over time. So you can't say instantaneously, because movement happens over time. So instantaneously is not the answer. How much time does it take to get from that top row to the middle row?
Well, the star doesn't do that.
It's not a matter of time, Slick. It's a matter of I think a matter of how fast it is moving towards or away from you. The slower it gets, the less likely it is to see a difference in between what something at rest and something moving looks like. So
okay, so does that tell you the speed? Like, in other words, does this graph tell you the speed that the star is moving?
Yeah, if you have enough data that you can gather what it looks like at different speeds, you could at one point calculate what speed it's coming away or coming towards you. So,
right, because I'm still looking for the answer of over what period of time. And let me tell you why I'm looking for this. Because when stars move, they move over long distances, like over thousands and millions of years. In other words, and they can move over 100 years, and the detection of the movement would be so small you can barely see it. So that's
the thing you're referring to parallax, right?
I'm just talking about detection of movement. You know what I mean? Like it's
right. Well, when you say movement, I think what you're referring to is as a star's maybe moving in relation to another one, but we really can't tell the difference until maybe later, years and years on.
That's what I'm saying.
That movement is not what we're detecting as far as blue shift or red shift, because we're using the amount of time the light is taking to get from there to us, and if the source is moving, it's going to be a shift. So the amount, how long it's taking for them to move laterally for us to detect parallax is irrelevant to being able to detect the red shift or blue shift.
Right, but the point that I'm trying to make is that in other words, there's a time difference between, like, say, the middle one and the top one. Do you agree with me that there has?
No.
Hold on, let me get the question out, Blue.
No.
Hold on,
Well,
Blue. Just let me get the
You're
question
already
out.
wrong.
Yeah, it's
Slick.
either it's doing that, it's either doing that, or it's either doing that. That's how it works.
Okay, but you didn't let me get the question out. My question out, if you're comparing the top one to the middle one, there has to be an amount of time to read that difference, right?
Okay. So I think the question is if what is the sensitivity in which we can tell if it's moving or not? Is that what you're asking? Like how fast does it move in order for us to detect the shift?
Right, that's what I'm saying. You have to have movement in order to see the shift.
No, you do not. The instant you see the lights, you see the shift. It's there. It's already there.
You don't understand the point I'm making, Blue.
No,
That's
you
good
don't
if you're looking.
understand what you're talking
Blue,
about.
just
Slick.
hang
That's
in
the
there.
problem. You
Blue,
really
hang
don't
in
understand.
there.
Don't get
I
all
know I
triggered
heard
in
you.
that, Slick. It's gonna be
I'm
okay.
not triggered. I
You'll
said
be all
hang
right.
in there.
Just slow
Blue,
down. Slow it down. You'll be
Does
okay.
does a single photon
man,
have
Blue,
frequency?
listen. Blue, what you're
you
saying.
see the light, you see the one of
Blue,
these
I
three.
heard you. Blue, I heard you. What you're talking about is one band. I'm talking about when you're comparing two bands together.
We don't do that. We don't.
But that's what I know that
You
I
don't
heard
have
you the
to
first
compare.
five. I heard you the
Don't
first
get all
5
triggered
times
now, Slick.
because
Slow
you
down.
keep
Slow it
repeating
down
yourself,
now.
and I'm bringing up something else.
I'm just okay.
Damn.
Jeez,
What the hell is
Slick's
your
triggered.
Slick, I think.
Well, it's just that you're being so hard-headed.
Slick, I think it comes down to, in order for it to move so slow that we may not be able to tell if there's shift or not. We're talking about very slow. We're talking about inches per second, maybe, or something like that. And the speeds that we're talking about are a lot more massive than inches per second, whatever. So
Actually, actually, Carlos, think about the frequency of light, okay, and how and what these frequencies are looking like in terms of terahertz, okay. In order to see any shift at all, it's got to be moving pretty damn fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and that's what Slick is really asking. Is like how fast a source of light has to move towards you or away from you in order for you to detect a shift. And I think the answer is real fast.
Really
and the fact that we're detecting a shift, Slick, we have a pretty good idea that they're going pretty fast.
Let me ask this. Let me see. This is to Blue and Carlos. Is this where Slick is mistaken? RT96 says Slick is conflating speed with acceleration and motion with position.
Perhaps, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
As an analogy. As an analogy. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
like I said, Carlos, this is the point that I'm making. In other words, you can look at one bar and that's instantaneous. You know the information that you have. But when you're looking at two bars, you understand what I'm saying? Say like the top bar and the middle bar, there is a time lapse in between those two bars. That's all I'm saying. That's all the point that I'm making.
There's definitely a time difference. Not time, but speed.
Wait.
Right, time and speed. They all correlate with each other. Time and speed. Dude, I was just talking to Carlos. Blue, take it easy.
You would never see that from the same star. You don't see the top one and the bottom one from or the top one and the middle one from the same star, Slick. You only see one of the three. You got three choices. You look at a star, you see one of those three. You never see another one.
Here's an
Only
answer.
One.
Hopefully this settles it. But and in order to see a shift, the source has to be going real fast. And because we have seen, we know what the light spectrum looks when it's at rest and when it's moving, and then we see that the light starts and we compare it to what we've seen before. We know they're moving. Does that give you an answer?
Yeah. Well, like I said, the only thing that I'm addressing, and you agreed with me, that when you're comparing like the top one to the middle one, there's a time involved, there's a speed involved. So in order to get that difference, it has to happen over time. And the point that I'm trying to make is when it comes with stars, they're so far away, their movement is almost undetectable because they're so far away.
from our
You're still
perspective.
missing it.
Lack of parallax
Right,
makes
from our,
it.
You're
yes, from
still
our
not getting it,
perspective.
though.
Yeah.
You're still missing
I am.
it. Rick.
You
You're
can't get it.
still
All right,
Carlos,
missing
did you
Slick,
understand
one
what I
last
was
time.
saying?
Bottom
Carlos,
hand.
did you understand my point?
Yeah, I see your point, but it's not.
That's all I'm making.
Yeah, the only difference.
Carlos.
But I'm not making any. I'm not saying anything different than that.
Right. The only thing
Carlos, what we've been trying to get through to him is that one observation you make of that shift change is an instantaneous observation.
But I was going to get at that.
You don't.
We made
compare
that
these
point
things.
already.
Yeah,
we already made that point, Blue. I'm not disputing that. I don't know why you.
Why do you keep going back to comparing the two?
Because I'm talking about something different. If you don't mind,
there is nothing different.
Yes, there is something different.
No, there isn't.
The hell is? Yes, there is.
You don't get
The
to
hell is
see
your
two
problem?
different pictures from the same damn star.
Okay,
Listen, Blue, what I'm talking about, you don't.
No. I figured it out. Here's the question. Blue, Carlos, Dr. Bob, have we seen a star change spectrums of light?
Don't need to.
Okay, that's what he's asking. He's asking, what would it take for us to watch a star, its frequency to change to the different spectrum? And the answer is we haven't.
There you go.
I'm not aware that.
There you go, Sean. Thank you.
Holy shit! It just popped into my brain.
It has never been
Thank you,
observed.
Sean.
as far as I
Exactly.
know.
That's the question
Do
that I'm
you hear
asking.
me? Do you hear me, Slick? It's
Thank
never
you, Sean.
been observed that I know.
Sean got it. I know. I heard you.
How long would that take? How long would that take? How long would that take?
Oh my
I mean, to experience. I mean, obviously we're not going to, but for shits and giggles, how long would it take
Sean,
to experience
what's
that?
the distance to the star?
Okay, thank you.
Give me a distance.
six light years. Let's go with 6 light years.
Okay, 6 light years. Okay, so it's going to take 6 light years for you to see that fucking shift.
Yeah,
it would take half of.
But Sean, you got where I'm coming from. You
I see what
caught
you're
it.
saying.
That's what I was asking. Yes, thank you.
I actually think
Why
that
the hell is
I actually
this a
think they have.
question?
I actually think they have seen the light, the spectrum from specific stars shift slightly over a long period of time, which is what tells us that, what tells us the universe is expanding, Slick.
That's the point that I was trying to make, and I was trying to ask you,
going away from us.
Blue, I was trying to ask you, what is the period of time? What is the period of time?
Name one. I can name one that's been done from year to year.
Okay,
listen. If you would like, it's called Barnard's star. It has shifted every year.
What's it called?
Barnard's star.
He's talking about
it's actually coming closer. It's actually coming towards our planet.
Blue shift, then.
Yes, but it's been observed year after year that spectrum
now,
is
the other
changing.
time that you can observe.
Okay, now this is what I'm asking.
Now, the other way that you can
observing?
observe. Slick, stop talking.
Oh, dude, I'm
Now,
sorry. I was asking a question at the same time.
Conversation, Slick. You don't have to address everybody, Slick. It's a conversation with a group. It's a group call. You don't have to address.
If we just happen to start talking at the same time, doesn't mean I'm talking over you.
Yeah, you don't have to control the conversation, Slick.
Take two
right,
stars.
but that's what I'm saying.
You're still talking. The other thing
I said that's what I'm saying. If I start saying and we're talking at the same time, doesn't mean I'm talking over you.
You are now. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can have two stars that are in a binary system orbiting around each other. And I would think that the Doppler shift would indicate which star is coming towards you and which star is going away from you. I think you could probably get a Doppler shift out of that as well, but that's above my pay grade.
It would probably, it could be towards you or away from you, but there would be a difference every time that they're doing a
That's how they measure Proxima Centauri.
Then you would see that change in the Doppler shift very fast.
I'm going to give everyone the...
Proxima Centauri is our closest star.
Shut up, Davros. Okay? I'm going to...
Oh, sorry for using my facts.
I'm doing the 15-minute warning right now.
Because my facts got you triggered, you decided to shut it down. Fuck you.
I know. I got a son.
You're afraid of me.
Yeah.
You're afraid of me.
Yeah.
I've got you triggered. You're scared. In fear.
Now, Demonic, you brought up a good point. And Demonic, since we got 15 minutes left, you brought up a good point, and I'd like to address it. Now, the Barnard star that you brought up, Now you said that they observed a shift, right, over a period of a year.
They actually observed its position changing.
Okay. Now the question that I have for you, was this a direct observation or was this a spectral measurement?
No, it's a direct observation and a spectral measurement at the same time. They do
Both
both.
of which are direct observations.
So what they do is they check both the spectrum to see how far it's come towards us, and they do the actual optical observation to see whether it's gone left to right or up or down on a XY axis, right? But to do that Z axis, you cannot measure it by eye. You have to use a spectrum of light to measure that distance.
So they have to plot it. They have the star plotted first, and then the year later they take the observation again and compare it to that plot, right? In order to see movement.
Yeah, pretty much. But that was just giving you an example of this is how you could do it with a predicted amount of time between one observation and the next. But that observation they make at that time is measured. It's not a full year that they measure it. They measure it when the planet's in the same position to the star from its last known location, and then measure against that. And that's the tricky bit.
I want to share a picture with Blue Marble Science. Blue Marble Science, this is being posted a few hours ago. So QE Live, Tuesday, April 18. Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard trashed. If you thought Professor LMFAO, Real Bell crashed and burned, you ain't see anything yet. And we both made it in the thumbnail. How about that?
Oh, really, QE? Who the heck toe tagged you last night? Anybody see my video from last night?
I'm gonna have to watch that. I heard about it, and I'm gonna watch it after this.
Yeah, I roasted him bad. He's still walking with a limp, I'm sure, and that's probably why I came up with that stupid meme.
Look,
you always win, Bob. I noticed that you never.
I have debunked the
pretty
dodo
much, yeah.
theory. It's a cat.
The cat or society.
Travis debunks the flat Earth because he says it's not flat.
BB already beat you to that one.
Yeah, but you know Australia Scooby-Doo, right?
Huh?
Australia Scooby-Doo, right? You know that.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, go have a look for it.
And you know,
hang on.
And you know Pluto is Pluto. We got that one right. Pluto is Pluto.
Yeah, that's why they named it Pluto.
Actually, Pluto was a mythological god. So,
hey, let me ask you a question. Since we got these last 15 minutes left, this is a good question for you. How does it happen that you guys can have these probes that last 40 years, like with unbreakable parts? They never break down. What kind of technology do these things have?
Hang on. You said never break down. Can you tell me?
Like what's that one that's going out there, like out of the solar system?
Voyager. When you figure out the name of Voyager.
Yeah, the Voyager. Hang on.
The Voyager, has it ever broke down?
Slick, yes. We have had multiple probes that actually have broken down and crashed.
But what about the Voyager?
Here's the thing. Have you ever had a tool that lasted longer than they advertised it was going to last?
I know, but what about the Voyager? So it just happens to be that tool that just happens to never break, huh?
No, it hasn't broken yet. There's a difference between never break.
I know, but don't you find that amazing that this thing's been out in the harsh of space for like 40 years and it never breaks? Like now when they're on the ISS, they're constantly having to do spacewalks so that they can repair things. But this thing here, nothing ever breaks on it, right?
A lot of components on the Voyager have broken down.
Oh, hell, it's got hot.
On the Voyager,
one of them's got like 3 of the experiments still working, and the other one's got 4. Yeah, they both started out with 9 or 10 or 11. I forgot. It was a whole bunch of different experiments. Both of the Voyagers have had lots of failures.
Can I ask
you ever do research?
But they still work. But they
have
still work.
Just last year.
Have you ever combed your hair over, Bob? Bob, have you ever combed your hair over?
I comb mine back. No, actually, I comb it back.
Yeah, Slick.
Have you ever read
Last
a book,
year,
Slick?
Voyager 2 had to get a software update because it wasn't sending signals back. Go look that up.
Listen, I was just asking. I was just bringing it up because it just sounded amazing.
Like,
That's all.
let me tell you this.
Did you look into it at all? Did you read a book? Did you look it up on the internet? Did you ask questions?
He's trying to.
Did you do any?
We're talking
research?
about it now, Bob. We're talking about it now.
No,
you couldn't even figure out the name of them 2 minutes ago.
But we're talking about it now, Bob. It took a while for Voyager to come to me. So is that a win for you?
No, hey,
no,
Slick,
it's a lose for you.
The problem is not the question. It's the problem is your attitude towards the answers or the attitude towards the whole thing. Because you're like, this is
attitude.
Not weird. No, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it is weird. You don't think that's amazing?
Amazing.
No, it's amazing. Absolutely.
When you say weird,
Amazing. Yes, weird. No.
In other words, you know what's really amazing? Carlos looks like he's lost mass.
Yeah, I took a massive dose earlier.
The only point that I'm making is that when they're on
You're
the
on a
ISS,
breatharian diet, Carlos?
they always have to go out and do spacewalks to repair like the deplexer. What is that thing that the deplexer, multiplexer, demultiplexer?
Right. Here's like
they have to like do.
Hang on, that thing is modular. They're constantly adding, upgrading equipment. They're constantly having people come in and out, run experiments. At a certain point, where you have so many things going on, there's things that are going to wear out. We're talking about humans are in there, so there's some sort of liability. You want to make sure that crap doesn't break down, so you have to service it constantly. Now, you can't do that kind of thing when you have a probe that's just going out where you can access it, can you? And you also don't have humans. Listen, if that thing breaks down, we're not talking about losing lives, right? So the ISS have a lot of traffic because of that. Now let me finish. When you build these things that are going to be going out in outer space, they're going to be exposed to the different changes in temperature, the vacuum of space. These things are overbuilt to make sure that they at least last the amount of time that they're going to run the experiment or whatever it is. Sometimes they're overbuilt so well that they last longer than they plan it for it to last. And hey, it is what it is. That happens. Okay. That happens with tools. That happens with the infrastructure, with vehicles. Those vehicles who run 400,000 miles were they intended to
$52 million a day, man.
But on your ISS, do they ever have to repair seals? I've never heard them have to repair any seals.
Perhaps, I don't know. Do they ever repair seals in submarines? I never hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have like machine shops?
Yeah, well, I guess they do, but I never hear about it. That doesn't mean that doesn't happen.
I'm just saying, how would you repair a seal on the ISS? I mean, that would be kind of difficult.
How would you do it if you were doing an ISS?
Well, I'm just saying, it seemed like that would be pretty hard because you're dealing with that pressure differential. Right. You got to open things up, and you got to, how it.
Same way they built it.
You know how it was built by sections, and when you have different sections, you can close certain hatches, and you can depressurize, you can pressurize. So let's say we have one section here that's messed up. And so, hey, we move over here, we close it down, and then we can work on it from the outside. We can change the seal, then we can go back inside, pressurize it again, and whoop-de-boo, it's done. I mean, it's,
No, Carlos, you don't understand. It's impossible. It cannot be done.
Hang on. Here's why Bob was asking, have you done your research? Because you're asking things that are, to us and to most people that have looked into this, it's kind of pretty simple, but you're over here trying to ask that as to like, I don't understand how can they, it's quite honestly, it's pretty simple.
Well, we're just having a conversation because there's plenty of things I could bring up that you don't understand. So, I mean, that's a two-way street.
Well, that's one thing for you and one thing for me to ask, but, and ask with skepticism and doubt or whatever you want to call it.
Sure. I mean, I can bring up things that you have no idea about. Like, in other words, I can counteract your Big Bang theory. You don't know anything about that.
I believe in the Big Bang. Don't put words in
Okay, but I'm just saying. Okay, well, not you specifically. I'm just talking about in general.
You said you, so.
I know, but just don't take it personally. You know what I mean. In other words.
And you've got some research on that, Slick?
Sure.
You want to go over your sources with us?
Well, like I said, we got like Sean, didn't you say you're about to shut this thing down?
Anyway, the whole ISS thing, man, it's
just a live stream.
It's just fully rendered CGI live 24/7.
I'd be
So did you
fully
learn a
happy
little
to
bit
get
about the
into it.
scientific method?
Oh, did you
today,
learn?
Slick?
Did you learn? Did you learn? That's the question. Did you learn?
Well,
Yeah,
did you
learn a
learn
little about the
anything, Slick?
scientific?
Yeah. Did you learn about boiling water? Like I was trying to make that point of how you use variables, independent, controlled, and did you understand all of that?
Of course. Did you learn
Okay,
about the
thank you.
scientific method?
I just taught you about the scientific method. The hell is wrong with you?
The cognitive dissonance is strong with this one.
Yeah, you do have some
It's
cognitive
amazing.
dissonance. Two-Face, your two-face ass. You do have some
Hey,
cognitive
easy.
dissonance.
Don't talk to my
Two-face or
Maya.
ass?
My
Two-face
foot up your
ass? I
ass.
don't understand.
I have
You
one
got two
face,
faces.
one ass.
You got two
Oh,
faces. You're
two-face, one
one
ass.
way one
Okay.
day,
Trust
and
got
me,
then
two
you
I
asses
change
studied
to
anatomy.
another
That's
face
all
the
we got.
next day.
See, I told you. Scooby-Doo.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they have to
Ghetto
refer
Slick.
to the ad homs whenever they get cornered. So, I mean,
It's
what do you
not an
expect?
ad hom. It's not an ad hom.
Insults, where our arguments
It's
are
not
not
an
worth
insult.
anything because I'm
There's no
bald.
insult
You know, the
and no
usual stuff.
ad hom.
Yeah,
No
well,
insult
It's
or
like
ad hom.
breaking up the
economics.
fact that I don't have hair. What's the
Dude,
point
no,
in
what are you
breaking up the
talking
fact
about?
that I don't have hair and
Why
have
do
to
you
do a
take
comb
that?
over?
Why do you take that personally?
Was it not meant
You
personally?
think that personally? What kind of question is that, Nick?
Was
Why
it
would you
meant
take that
personally,
personally?
Slick?
No, it's just an observation.
Oh, okay. So I'm observing your
Observation about
asshole.
what?
Don't take it
Right,
personally,
we
though.
do
Bless your heart.
observations
Why
all
would
the
he?
time.
Well, I
Why
observe
would
that
he
you
make an
don't have
observation
one.
like
Don't take it personal.
And by the way,
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
take
do
it
comb
personal.
overs. I pull it back. And in case
Dude.
you happen to look at my
Okay,
photographs, that's what
whatever.
I
Comb
do.
over, comb back, whatever you want to
No,
call it, it's the
He's
same
got
thing.
I'm
business
gloriously
going
bald.
party
I'm
in the
happy
back.
for it.
He has a
Dude,
mug.
you are really self-conscious about that, aren't you? That's
Not a
not a
bit.
big deal, Bob. Don't worry about it. Well, don't worry
By the
about
way,
it.
Well, then
Slick
don't
has
bring it
black
up.
skin and
Do you still
hat.
get dates, or do you have to buy dates? Just worry about it at that
Hey,
point
Sean,
where you
did
have
you
to
get a
start
super
Why do you
chat?
wear a
preparing
hat?
dates.
35 years, dickwad.
Why do you wear a hat?
And your wife
Jose,
can
you going to
still
read the
stand
super chat?
Oh, I can read Sean's super chat if you want me to.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Hey,
imagine
Slick,
that a
Alright,
woman
hold
would
the
want to
phone.
Slick,
be
shut
anywhere
up.
near you.
Slick, shut
Slick,
up. We're
hold the
gonna read a
phone for
super
a
chat.
second.
Hold the
For
phone,
Sean
hold the
G
phone.
from RT96, $5 to Sean G. Thank you, RT96. I have a 1981 Pinto. It has only 3 wheels, no gas tank, 2 broken pistons, and the radio is silent, but my car still works. Why is that, Slick?
Hey, Bob, it's hard to imagine that a woman would want
Has
to
to
be
Oh,
be a
he
anywhere
swept
home,
it
near
under
you.
the rug, RT. He swept it under the rug. Damn.
Yep. Damn.
That wasn't a real question. Come on, man.
That's all you.
One
That's all you.
Pinto
That's
under
all
the
you
rock, it
have.
has to be a
That's all
big
you
rock.
have, Slick.
Dude, I'm
That's
just
because I
saying
intimidate you.
it's hard to imagine a woman would want to be anywhere near you. That's just an observation, dude.
Hey,
Come
what
on.
do you have to offer? That beautiful hat you're wearing? Get out of here.
Well, you understand what I'm saying. You've seen me. I mean,
All
y'all
right,
seen.
all right,
You've
guys,
seen
guys,
the pictures.
Why are you being
all right,
so mean, Slick?
guys.
You've seen the
guys,
pictures, right?
Guys, all right. Hey,
Yeah.
first, Jose, thank you very, very much for doing that for me.
Twit.
Hey,
Twit,
Slick,
you out
okay.
there?
Slick, you must be good looking,
that was
man,
actually-
because
hang on,
women aren't
guys,
after
hang
you
on.
after
You know,
you're
I'm hot.
Guys,
I'm hot, dude.
hang on, hang on.
Let's
Hang
do
on.
this. Let's not let
Hang on.
Sean speak at all.
Okay, so
Well, she's trying to say something, and you.
No,
damn
it's because
it,
he's scared.
Carlos,
No, it's because
damn
he's
it,
scared.
I will.
See,
I want
because
to
we
stay
took over
here.
the show.
Respect you,
Yeah,
Sean.
that's power right there. All right, thank you, Jose, for reading that.
Blue and I
I'm going
intimidated.
to end the stream because I gotta go. I gotta do the son and dad thing, so I
Did I
gotta
get it right?
take off. Can you get a what?
Did I get a range?
No. I'm so confused right now. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna end. Again, the stream after the show will continue. So if you guys want to join in, I will be at my computer for about 5 more minutes, and I'll be able to get everyone in. I have just kind of a lot of people, and I'm kind of in a hurry to do a
Hugo Perez is
afterthoughts.
good peeps. Hugo
Okay,
Perez
cool.
is
Yes,
good.
yes, he is.
All
Hugo
right,
Perez is good peeps. Yep.
Thank you guys. Perfect. There we go. Good to go there, Hugo Perez. All right, so I'm going to end this now. I do appreciate everyone being on. I'm sorry I'm not going to do a afterthoughts because I kind of got to